Welcome to That's Absurd Podcast, your source for everything hip-hop, pop culture, sports, and more. Tune in, subscribe, enjoy.
Yo. Welcome back to another episode of That's Absurd Podcast. I go by the name of Juno, a.k.a. Melvo.
It's your boy, Gene P.
And we are back for another week of the absurdities and bullshit fellas. Or not fellas, fella. What have you been up to, bro?
I've been chilling this past weekend. Didn't do much. I believe just posted at the crib. Yeah, that's about it. Just doing some housework. That's about it. Furnishing. That's about it.
How's the house coming along?
Pretty decent. Tossing some stuff out, throwing some. We got rid of. Had a dining table we had for about 5 years now, man, and I was like, kind of sucks seeing that go. I wanted to break it apart and maybe save it for get a rental unit, reuse it, because it was real hard wood. I bought it from what was the place? I bought it from one of these things up here. I forgot the name's drawing a blank to me, not Ashley's, but it was real hard with this, and I just didn't go with the furnishing. So, after a while, you keep moving around, you got no place for it, and it's taking too much place. After a while, you just gotta chuck it out, though.
Yeah, should I sell it?
I was thinking about selling it, but I just never got around to it because they needed it to be reupholstered. We had upholstered it before back then when we had first got our first cat. He had ruined it. So we went to Michael's. We took the leather, we stapled it, reupholstered it, and fixed it up again. But it just been years, so it needed to be reupholstered, and some of the wood was scratched, so it needed to be restained. It was gonna be like a little project to refix it back up, and I just didn't have time to get around to it. And when you got a house, though, one thing about it, you just gotta. It's easy to become a pack rat, though. So after a while, you just gotta just toss some shit out, though, before you get attached to it. So yeah, we threw out a couple things. So that's about it, though.
Now that you have a 2-car garage, how is that? With your hoarding tendencies, you and your wife.
It's still, one car is always in charging, right? I'm still not using both ports of the 2-car garage. I'm using only one side. I want to bring in the other side. What's name?
Can you even? Is there not stuff on that side?
There's stuff against the wall. Well, right now, because the car's not there, I could have it where both cars have to move the stuff over to actually have the full functionality both sides. But there's just some stuff I just want out the garage. Maybe get a shed out back. You know what I'm saying? I be envious when I pass around and see some neighbors in their garage empty, bro. I don't know how that's the way to live. Dog. You know what I'm saying? But it's just human nature, though. You got a room, you just start stacking it up with shit fuck.
Shit, yeah.
And
I still can only fit one car in my
garage.
garage.
It's only one that's in there now, and I'd have to move a lot of shit to fit through. And it sucks, bro, because I feel like if you had another garage, maybe that'd be the answer. We'd probably just fill that shit up with some other shit, though. It's probably just, it's crazy. I got a bunch of shit in the attic. I feel a shed would be good for sure. Throw some shit around all the tools and stuff. Maybe those could go around to the back of the shed. Who knows, man? It's always something. The thing with houses, though, you can get very bogged down or very lazy. You start a project and don't finish it, and then get around to doing this. But if you stay on top of it, there's always something to do, and you could get it to where exactly how you want it if you stay on top of it. You're knocking this down, knocking that down. So that's about it. How about you?
Bruh, absolutely nothing.
Had a good weekend, chill?
I didn't leave the house the whole weekend. Stayed home, had some people come through, see the jit.
Okay.
JD and his wife came through, visit the kid, stuff like that. We hung out for a few hours. Other than that, bro, it's just the task of getting the baby together and leaving with the baby and making sure all his shit is good. I'd be like, you know what, babe, you could just go.
Just stay home with her.
I'll just stay home. Bro.
Yeah, that used to be back in the days, and she's like, get this ready, get that. And I'll just stay home with the kid.
Yeah. Because it's less work, and when you get there with the kid, you got to unpack the kid, make sure he's good. So I'll be like, bro, you know what? It's too much work to leave the house with the kid. So you just go, or I go. One of us go, one of us are going to have to stay home. And usually I don't have no problem staying home.
Just staying back and chilling.
As soon as the wife walk out, I put that nigga to sleep.
That's it. I make him a fat bottle, for the little blend down. Just coast. You watching? Yeah, that's it. You didn't get nothing else?
Nah, bro. Other than that, doing a little bullshit around the house, changing light switches and shit. Finally came across to changing the toilet light switch to being a smart one because for some reason that's the light that always remains on and never turns off.
That's what I did. Changed all mine's out a couple weeks back up.
So I had to change that to a smart switch so it could just auto time off after 15 minutes. So if you're in that toilet room and you don't handle your business within 15 minutes, you will be in the dark.
Just move for a little bit and come back on.
Nah, it's not motion. It's smart. So there's a smart automation for it.
Oh, I didn't just it was motion before. I didn't just do that.
But that's the bathroom. That's the guest bathroom.
Oh, okay.
That's the one. It's the guest bathroom, so no one's gonna be in there longer than 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So the one in our master bedroom has like its own door, its own.
Yeah, I got that.
So I just decided to put a smart switch on it.
I changed my kids' shower to that. They get mad because when they're in the shower, it cuts off after 15 minutes.
Yeah, but that's why the motion one.
I told them just open the thing up and it'll cut back on again.
That's why you get the smart one because you could set the timer to be 25 minutes and it automatically cut off 25 minutes. They should be done by then. Versus the 15 minutes in the shower, it wouldn't work for us because who knows how long we'd be in the shower. So that's why that one is the actual smart switch, which you can time it and program it to shut off after 15 minutes. So that was the case for that one. Other than that, what did I do? Oh, I pressure washed the fence or part of the fence because that shit was, when you have fucking vinyl or
that's the downside. The mold
it builds up mold from them cutting the grass and all that bullshit. So I had to pressure wash that today.
It's crazy that they don't offer that service. They'll just cut the grass and leave that shit on your thing. It's crazy that no one doesn't come back around and hit it with a quick, you know what I'm saying?
With a spray down with the hose?
Yeah, something.
That's too much work, bro. How much do you think they would have to charge extra for that? Because that's just an extra 10 minutes that they're going to have to spend.
I mean, they go to your crib, 2 times? They come to the cribs maybe during season 2 times a month instead of the 1?
They get it. It's Florida. It's year round. It's season.
No,
unless it gets cold, but when it gets
cold, they slow down. Rain season, they come back twice because that's when
rain season. Regular season, they come twice a week. Rain season, they come twice a week.
There's one time where they cut it down.
Where
the water grows fast. It might be rain season where it's raining.
Yeah, rain season is when the
they
grass
double
goes
it up.
fast.
So the other time they might go. Go for
my guys. Okay, he knows to only come here twice a month because that's all you gonna get.
That's okay.
You come 3 times that month, that's on you, Playboy.
Yeah, they might change it. Yeah. So whatever plan, I know it doubles up during rain season. So maybe during that time, throw an extra, what's the name? Because or maybe every other visit. It's crazy. Yeah, they just mow the thing down. They just leave it like that, and then they just build up until you hit it.
So that had to get done this week. So I did that. I think I did that early Saturday morning. Other than that, what did I do? That's pretty much it, bro. I ain't do shit.
Okay, just stayed back. Nothing wrong with that. Just stayed home, enjoyed the crib.
Yeah, all right. Let's jump into these absurdities. What you want to start off with politics? Politics is light this week. Light but good.
Okay, go ahead. What do we have in politics?
You got your boy Ron DeSantis decided to send a plane full of immigrants from Florida to Martha's Vineyard.
Yeah, Martha's Vineyard. Yeah, Martha's Vineyard. Yeah.
And Martha's Vineyard is a rich community or a rich island off of Massachusetts.
Yeah, that's where all these celebrities and all these politicians tend to go to for vacation.
And they was on their high horse talking about Martha's Vineyards is a safe zone for immigrants and blah blah blah. The reason they try to promote that it's a safe zone is because they know immigrants is not going to have enough money to come there. Because you got to have money to come there.
Yeah.
So DeSantis had a bright idea. You know what? Martha's Vineyards want to be on their high horse saying that they're a safe zone for immigrants and immigrants are welcome. So he sent them immigrants over there. What? Them motherfuckers freaked out.
Well, not really. They didn't freak out in the sense
they freaked out, nigga.
They did, but they didn't like get them up out of here. They made it look very humbly. They bought them food. They what's name? They packed.
Yeah, that was day one.
They sent them out right. They sent them packing. They're like, you got to get the hell out of here. But they treated them. Like, give them a meal, give them some clothes, bring some charter buses.
Motherfuckers got deported.
You up out of here. You gonna be up out of here, but we treated you right. They didn't know around these motherfuckers.
Them motherfuckers were freaking out talking about they don't have the infrastructure, they don't have the facility, and it was only 50 people.
Yep.
So you telling me you don't have the infrastructure to accommodate 50 more people than your population has?
Yep.
So they definitely deported those immigrants super quick. The following day, they was on that bus to be deported, and now I guess the different Democratic states are like trying to press charges and sue for human trafficking and all this bullshit. Like,
yeah, it's crazy.
It's a slap in the face of human trafficking.
But human trafficking in itself is overdone. You know what I'm saying? There's some stuff that anytime you see the media has buzzwords and they seem like they took the veil off, you gotta know there's a lot of upsell. There's human trafficking
is human trafficking where they kidnap people, drug them up, put them to work, do something like that.
I'm just saying, even that's not a lot.
Nigga, that's
as
horrible.
much as we push it, it is horrible, but it doesn't happen as much as we like to believe.
That's what
a lot of it is prostitution.
You're not affected by it.
It's not. Listen, everything's oversold because a lot of the labor of forcing people to do work is always harder than when you could always drug them up and get. It's a lot of human trafficking is prostitution.
Yeah, nigga, it's human trafficking.
Yeah, no, because
that's human trafficking when you take the person.
Yeah, but it's willful prostitution. It's not forceful. It's been given like
forceful, nigga. You drug them up and
you
drug them up and you keep them drugged up and you have people that come through and pay you to
correct. But that's part of the game. It's not like had you released the prostitutes. It's not like they don't come back. It ain't like they hawk them down. It's part of the game.
Yeah, it's because you got them addicted to
even
the drug.
Before
now,
that,
they have a free source of drugs, so they're gonna keep coming back.
But there's different games. It's a trade off for the drugs for the work.
Ain't no trade off. You put them on the drugs.
I can't say that. Prostitution it's something that we're not a part of. So it's vilified to the point where it looked like everyone's a super villainous, evil plan.
You participated in the prostitution.
How do I participate in prostitution?
You ever paid for some vagina?
No, I'm not paying for vagina.
You paid for something before. Either some fellatio or some type of vagina. Nigga, that's called prostitution, nigga.
Listen.
And it was probably, knowing you, nigga, it was probably a cash transaction.
So a pimp got paid off us. Listen, what I'm saying is, it's just like the same way you see them vilifying fentanyl now and pretending that the drug dealers are spiking the drugs. That's bullshit. Dealers don't go around spiking their own product. The customers ask for it. And
no, people spike their own shit, bro. Because where was I? I was at where was I? I was at a club and one of the the bartenders were selling weed.
Yeah.
Like pre-rolled to people, right?
Yeah.
I watched this bitch pour some white shit in it, bro.
Okay.
I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
That's probably not your crowd. There's people that probably know what it's want. There's people that like this shit laced. Listen.
The bitch laced the shit. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I don't think these people know that they get their shit laced.
You 30-something years old. You part of the old crowd. People are just like people are acting just like the news want to make it seem, especially
the shit that looked like some type of salt shit, bro, that she sprinkled after she bust down the gar, put the weed in there. I see this bitch go into her little knapsack, her fanny pack, and sprinkle some shit on that shit. I was like, what the fuck is going on? We don't want none
of that special stuff. We would want our shit.
What hood shit I was at?
We want our shit straight, but there's people out here want their shit spiked. It happens. The fentanyl thing that they're acting like it's a big thing. The fiends are asking for fentanyl. That is a thing. The drug dealers are not spiking the drugs. It is a thing. They want the fent. Yeah, if you have regular shit, that shit is not moving. They want the shit that can hit. And then because it's more stronger, more problem, more people are taking down now. So that's over. So that even with the, like I said, even with the
human trafficking,
there's plenty of, sure, there's every now and then you're going to catch some villainous guy that caught a little kid and tricked them or something. But for the most part, a lot of prostitution is not forced. A lot of it, these girls come in, they need a pimp. It's a two-way relationship. There's that and third. And they might have a gorilla pimp that force them. They might have got to manipulate them, but it's a protection type thing. And you even have somewhere you have girls that, whether or not they have a pimp, they're going to do this regardless. The pimp is just one of their safe. It's like a security type thing. You know what I'm saying? But either way, that just, I look at it like that. But I think it is a slap in the face for them to act like that's human trafficking, just moving people from one destination to the other.
Yeah, no, like to fucking, when do fucking people get human traffic on a fucking chartered flight?
It's wild. Remember they tried to say during Atlanta during the ACU, what was the game, that basketball weekend during All-Star weekend, they're talking about be on the lookout. Human trafficking could be a lot of people are being trafficked down there to go serve it. Like so the pimps are out here putting their girls on charters and planes and bus, bringing their prostitutes in the service of coming in, flying them back out. This shit it's nuts. I'm like, come on, how coordinated could this pimp be in one spot? He got all his dames out in all places, and they'll come back. Come on, this lets you know it's a business. It's kind of those things, but yeah, it is a slap in the face. I thought it was smart. It's smart, but disrespectful.
No, it's genius because
yeah,
you really get to call these people out on their bullshit.
Yeah,
y'all say y'all safe zone. We bring people to a safe zone, and you trying to press charges on a nigga.
The issue with it is that shit costs so much money. I think it costs like $16 million or something like that for them to. I don't know if it was some crazy number. Wouldn't it be crazy? How could it even cost that much to put some motherfuckers on a bus and transfer them around? But you know, anytime there's a government check involved, somebody's scheming. Come on, at me. I charter motherfuckers for cheaper than that. I can do it for $8. I can do it for half that. We'll get them half of what it costs this country for cheaper than that. If that's how much it costs. It costs a crazy amount to charter these people from one place. He got that from Greg Abbott because Greg Abbott was the first one bringing them to other politicians' houses. And like I said, they brought it to Kamala Harris's house. That's so damn disrespectful, bro. Like, this is the first black VP. Y'all dropping off immigrants at my crib.
This is bring it to her house?
Her house. She has a crib in Marcus Vineyard.
Oh.
So that's what I like, bro. This is so fucking, these motherfuckers have.
You gotta call
it's
these
so
people out on their
disrespectful,
bullshit.
bro. I understand it though. I give them props for playing the game, but Jesus Christ, bro, y'all gotta chill on that. And they brought her over there and said, if they don't, we're not. They're saying we're not sanctuary cities. If y'all want them, y'all can have them in places like DC. And said, they could come here. They're welcome. They're sanctuary. The crazy thing about sanctuary cities that them even saying they're having it, that a lot of them tend to be, black cities. Is now people like. I'm looking at a lot of some black folks like this. It's a bigger slap in the face because y'all using up resources to give them to these immigrants. Y'all taking up that. I was like, I look at it two ways. I'm like, it is a slap in the face that people's tax dollars are going to work for someone that's not even supposed to be here. There should be no such thing as a sanctuary city.
No, it's ridiculous. To me, it's the whole sanctuary city shit is ridiculous.
I understand we're not pressing on saying, but it's crazy for y'all to have to say we openly take them. That's kind of wild. But I'm also of the kind saying that black folks trying to say is detrimental to us. Like, if y'all competing with migrants and immigrants, are like you wild in the beginning. That's a horrible excuse. You know what I'm saying? They weren't here illegally. I think they came here legally. It's not illegal to seek asylum. You can come to America to seek asylum.
Yeah, with the. Well, that depends on who's in office.
Yeah, you can come to the border and seek asylum. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to cross. They let you in, this, that, and third, and this, whatever it is.
But that's the thing. What's the verification process with seeking asylum?
They had the one where Trump had it where you had to stop, you had to go to Mexico, and as we proof it, then you come here. But a judge struck that down. No longer can they have to stay in Mexico till they get verified. If they're seeking asylum, they come here. You bring them here. You detain them while you review their asylum status. If they're proved to be true, you let them stay and they do their thing. And the rest that not true, you send them back. That's what it is. You can show if they show that they're running away from a credible threat, like their life's in danger. That's what usually the excuse. They're running from gangs and all the shit like that. My thing is, Republicans played a smart game by doing that. Democrats fall into the trap every time because you over here making it seem like, oh, these people are so rude. They're locking up people. They're like, y'all over here, Americans at the end of the day is going to get pissed off that you're using our resources for people that's not us. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, the same way you seen how at first everyone was pro-Ukraine, okay, no problem, China's Russia. Then even a couple months later, like, hey, man, how much money y'all motherfuckers going to send these people, bro? It ain't our business. People, the public sentiment's gonna flip on it pretty soon. They're not gonna, and Democrats gonna fall for the trap every damn time, though. So it's perfect. And
the Democrats are full of shit, bro.
Yeah, and somehow under Biden's watch, this is the largest amount of immigrants that's come to the borders ever since. So some people are believing that the borders are wide open. America's crazy within itself, man. Like, people don't realize the whole world could fit in America comfortably. The whole world, bro. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know about the whole world.
The whole world could fit. The whole world could fit in states, not even all of America. That's how big America is. You realize most of America is unoccupied, bro. There's like only 2/3 of America is.
No, but you said comfortably.
Comfortably.
But not with the infrastructure we have now.
No, not with the infrastructure. I'm just talking about, but I'm just talking about, but people acting like there's no room. They could come in here and be plenty of room. There's plenty of room. Most of the shit is empty. Yeah.
Because they still didn't give the 40 acres and a mule.
Yeah, and they got that. Yeah, so.
Exactly. So
most of America, all of mid of America is empty. There's people only live in the East Coast and the very West. That's right. It. All of middle of America is empty. You know what I'm saying? The shit is, and of the West Coast, like 70% of it is California. You know what I'm saying? They have like 1/3 of the U.S.'s population, like 80 million people live over there. All country. The rest is all East Coast. So all down the middle of America is just empty. We got plenty of room here. For us, keep saying we have no room. It's bullshit.
When they say we don't have the room, because they mean like there's not.
That ain't what they mean.
The land is not developed to
hold these people are trying to run for safety. They'll do cool. You throw them in the middle of America, just throw them in some grasslands. They're cool with that. They'll develop it. For us to pretend like we ain't got it, we have the room. America benefits from the migrant crisis. And like I said, we benefit by making the world around us worse because we get the best people to come here. The people that have to, it's almost like a job application, like a job screener. The more ravenous stuff they have to pass through, the salt water, the crocodile water, the climbing the fences. We know the people that come here that actually make it here, we got the best of the best, you know what I'm saying? And weeds itself out.
The fittest of the fit.
Yeah, the fittest of the fittest, the best of the best. That's who we get over here. We get the most elite of migrants, you know what I'm saying? And it kind of sets it like that. And we keep everything around us broke and everything else that. So it benefits like that for us to keep pretending like we can't actually help. And those other governments from other places are not going to stop people that's fleeing from the shit. Why would they?
Who's going to pay for it?
Yeah.
You want your tax dollars going to it? Who's paying for it?
We pay those other countries to do all sorts of shit, but they can't stop people from fleeing them. We pay them to keep their country's conditions as is. As long as they say they're capitalists, whatever it is. We don't care if they have an evil dictator. As they say
they're a democracy.
Yeah, they're a democracy. We don't give a fuck what they got going on. As long as you don't flip and say you're a communist, we're like, socialist.
Socialist is okay. They don't mind socialists.
Yeah,
looks like we're moving to a socialist community in America anyway.
It's going there slowly. So yeah, it's wild though. But yeah, Democrats definitely gonna take a L on that, on how it goes. It looks crazy. And now it looks like I believe a Florida or a sheriff from Texas or something like that is looking into it, and he filed like a class action lawsuit along with people against them doing that because they're promised work and everything else. So like, it's crazy that non-citizens could even sue.
Bring a lawsuit, right?
Yeah, but
join the class action lawsuit in America.
Like motherfuckers could round up class action. Where's the person rounding up the class action lawsuit for black people to sue? Because we're owed some shit, you know what I'm saying? Someone need to come up with that. Drop the paperwork for that. What else we have?
That was it in politics. I ain't see nothing else other than your boy Biden announced that the pandemic is officially over.
Oh yeah, we called it. It is officially over.
I guess. I haven't had anybody say they.
People are still dying from it. of course, and everything else. But like I forgot which guy on CNN saying how it's so messed up because it's just a matter of inconvenience. We're just expediting and calling it over. And it's like when Trump did this, we flipped out and it was messed up, and we should also be equally as mad at Biden saying, I was like, but y'all don't understand. This is just the business on the ground. People, we can't stay locked up forever. That's one. I'm Dr. Barry, friend of the podcast. He did say the COVID is going to be around here for good. It's going to be one of those things.
Yeah, it's just going to be one of those, yeah.
And that's what it is. So it's over.
Every few years, it's going to be a breakout.
And it's just part of the thing. It's like now part of our flu. So it is over. It's part of our rotation. Here's what makes COVID different, though, because unlike the flu, I've never seen something have 100 variants or require a booster
the flu has
every 3
100
months.
Variants.
But it takes usually the shot you get.
The flu, every year, flu has a
every
variant.
year.
Every year.
COVID drop. COVID is on. COVID drop warps every 3 weeks.
Yeah,
bro.
that's because it's new.
So it's got to slow down. It's still growing.
Yeah. So
all right. So
once it gets to the boss level,
then it's gonna stop switching
that's
up.
when it will have a variant every other year or every year. But it's still new, so it's still getting its legs up under it.
Well, I'm just saying that the issue with COVID is, with them dropping a booster every 3-4 months, that's crazy. Like I said, after a while, we're gonna realize that the COVID boost vax is bullshit. Till they actually come out with a vax. Once they have a vax that you can take every year, then it's gonna be legit. This whole taking a booster every 3 months, 6 months, it's wild. There's no such vax works. No such vax that we have on the books.
Did you ever even get vaxxed?
I never ended up getting to the point of getting the vax. I got scheduled. My wife ended up getting both, or did she get one? When she got the job, she ended up getting one. Yeah, she got both. I ended up not even. I was planning to go get it. And I ended up like, by the time I ended up pouring, we ended up doing it. So
your wife is the only one in the house that got it?
Yep. There's only one in the house that got it. But there's like no point now, man. We're going to wait. COVID's almost done. But when they drop the official vax, we're going to be there for it. We realize by now that the vax, even Biden done caught, he's triple boosted up. He done caught COVID 2 times already. COVID vax is nothing. They've been giving y'all saline, bro. Outside of
placebo.
Yeah, it's a placebo effect. I mean, I'm saying the people that can save with it is people that need it the most, is overweight and elderly. But everyone else, if you have an active lifestyle.
If you say overweight and elderly, you're literally saying 80% of America. Because 80% of America is overweight.
But active lifestyle matters too. It ain't that it's just that overweight. I feel like we're over the hump of it just catching you and taking you out of here. It kind of straightened, it kind of thinned the herd early. Those million some people that we had, it got them, it shook them loose. I don't think a fat person catching COVID now is out of here just yet. I mean, people are still dying, but the waves of it, I think most people that already caught it or even had it already. I don't want to say they're immune to it, because it keeps changing, but I think it done took out the weakest of us already at some point, But until we actually have a good vaccine, a vaccine that actually makes sense.
And everyone in your house caught COVID.
Yeah,
before.
everyone caught it.
Crazy.
Everyone caught it. Some people caught it twice. I remember I was one of the last ones to catch it. I ended up catching it. Who caught it twice? I believe my wife and my son caught it twice. Yeah, so everyone did catch it. So I'm not saying COVID isn't true, but I am saying that the vaccine isn't really worth the damn as far as by vaccine standards, where they're calling as much as some people get vaxxed because there's no vax that has a massive rollout. People are still getting it. It's crazy.
So far, I've been unscathed. I haven't caught it. So,
have you tested every time, or did you ever test it? You never came back?
I used to get tested regularly. So, I've never had a positive test.
And that's the thing about it. You could even have it and then have no signs and pass it to people. What worse vaccine is that, bro? What kind of thing is that?
Well, if you're vaccinated and you have it, you can pass it to people. It just won't affect you.
It's bullshit. What does that even mean?
What you mean?
You can have it and still pass it to the person.
It's like having on a glove, and you have bacteria on the gloves. You can pass that bacteria to somebody else and never be affected by it because you have on a glove.
But that means everyone could be vaccinated, right? And because you can still get it even when you're vaccinated. So that means everyone could be vaccinated and we still all have COVID. And once the vaccine runs out, the COVID could still just be there waiting for us until one of it wear off and it just goes to that person.
Well, that's the thing. Like, if everyone is truly vaccinated and that was the case, it would eventually die off.
It doesn't die out because the vaccine doesn't stop the COVID.
I know it doesn't.
It just makes it less severe. That's why I tell you it's not a real vaccine. In any other term, every other vaccine, I'm not anti-vaccines. Every other vaccine works. We take the flu vax. We take all these other vax.
The flu vax don't work because you still could get the flu after you get the vax.
Anytime I've ever had the flu vax, I used to take when I started the hospital. You may get like a down day for one day, but after that, you're good. You maybe don't ever feel it, but it lasts the whole year. But there's no vax that you need 3 times in 1 year. It's ridiculous. And when you take the flu vax, I don't know people passing the flu. I didn't know if that was a thing. You either didn't have it. Works. You know what I'm saying? I don't remember people catching the flu, you've been vaccinated, and then caught the flu and passed the flu. That's not a thing. This COVID thing was relentless. This shit is wild. So either way, as we come to terms with science and society, we'll learn that, like I've been saying for forever in this pod, that not all science is just science. A lot of social constructs have to do with science in the sense that just like Biden said it's over, you'll start seeing the medical world start saying that COVID is over. So you'll see how magically everyone now agrees that it's over.
But it might be, some people might be mad because now that they're saying the pandemic is over, these right-wingers are like, okay, so the pandemic's over. Why are we spending $1 billion trying to forgive student loan now?
Yeah, I mean, there's all sorts of ramifications to it.
If paying off student loan was because of the pandemic and we didn't pay it off yet, but now that it's over, why are we still paying it?
Yeah.
So it might backfire on a few folks.
We'll see how it goes. You know, they already started the forgiveness, right? Did you apply?
I don't know where to apply it.
Oh, you better get on it.
I thought that shit was like automatic.
How's it go? You just think they just take 10,000 off the price?
That's what I thought. But we'll see. I'm gonna find a way to get that breath. Hopefully they can just send a check and ask me to pay it myself. Pay off some debt other than student loan. You know, student loan, they gonna forever get them $25 for the rest of their life. $25 a month for the rest of my life. But what else we got? We got anything else in politics?
I think that's it. I don't know if we have anything else. In politics, at least.
Okay. What you want to jump into? Hip hop or pop culture?
I guess and I guess we could switch to pop culture. Pop culture is fairly short this week. You seen the one with the CDC warned people to stop putting NyQuil in their chicken after this trend came about?
I saw it, but they saying it's a trend, but I only saw one person doing the video. So is it really a trend?
What was the point of them doing the NyQuil in the chicken? Is this supposed to be a lean chicken?
White dude that just decided he was going to create a challenge and it went viral. I didn't see anybody else doing it.
Yeah, they warned that,
one video, and they decided to warn people not to do it. But
yeah, they said because even when it's boiling, you could be inhaling it and getting more doses than you need. I was like, people are retarded, though. What are you gonna do? Oh, we did miss one in politics. The New York Attorney General sued Donald Trump and his kids for $250 million. They said he has a history. After they got those documents, they said he has his career, his 20, 30-year career, he's been pumping, inflating his income when it came time to get a loans, deflating it when it came time to pay taxes, just basically that's what it is. Basically inflating it so he could get low percentage loans, deflating and pay taxes.
Since when does the what was he?
Oh, the Attorney General?
Attorney General comes after people that lied on their pay stubs.
I mean, she's been after Trump. She's the one trying to do the RICO charge in New York on him. She's been after Trump for all sorts of shit.
Yeah. Motherfuckers just reaching, bro.
She's reaching. She's doing what, Trump doing creative financing. You can do what you got to do. Anyone that knows the real world, man. You know what I'm saying? There's stuff that are legal and stuff that are illegal. You know what I'm saying? There's black and white, but you know, at the end of the day, if you're a closer, you're gonna do what you gotta do. You know what I'm saying?
That motherfucker's reaching, bro. You know
what I'm saying? Some people know, in theory, your parent, you know what I'm saying? That's why if your parents even give you money when it's time for you to close for a house, you have to disclose that they did a loan, this, that, and the third. Or if you have to borrow money, you know, all that shit. People, all these little stuff people do when it's time to get a property. You know, you might do some funky stuff. Let me put your money in my account for a little bit to make me look legit, or sign off and say, let me say that you're a tenant that's renting out a room from me. You're going to live so I can make my finances look right. People do this shit all the time. He's just doing it on a bigger scale. But nonetheless, I already knew, she got Trump on the other charge. Like, I already knew that Trump isn't going to jail. So $250 million when I'm worth like $10 billion, that's nothing. You know what I'm saying? That's just called the cost of doing business. I'll just pay that. I'll pay that settlement.
He's not gonna settle.
He might settle for a couple. I mean, these stuff like this, they got him. It's not an issue. I just knew that he wasn't going to jail for a criminal act. If they want to go after him financially, because the thing is, after all this stuff they got on Trump, I can't say they trumped up charges, but he's too powerful to go to jail. But they already knew they're gonna shake him down. That's not the first time they shook them. I mean, they done got him for money. Trump done settled for the Trump University lawsuit. They done got him for millions before. He always, each time he says it's a trumped up charge, especially civil wise, he ends up settling, paying the fine. This just so they can't look like we went after him and got nothing. Now they're gonna be like, oh, we got him to pay. But you don't mind. He'll pay. It's no different than these pharmaceutical companies. I done made $10 billion and y'all make me do a $1 billion settlement, class action settlement. I still come out on top. It's the cost of doing business. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So what's its
Listen, if Trump wants everything to stop, all he has to do is say, look, I'm not running for president or any any political positions for the rest of my life. All this shit would die down. People would stop bothering him.
That's true, but he's too powerful. And why would he do that? I'm old. I could ride this bad boy out. I got too much power. And I just got to make sure when I get in power, I get every one of my people, get their charges vacated or get their things forgiven. I'll be good. So I can't blame him for playing it. I blame some of these politicians that are overplaying their hand, that are trying to bring up criminal charges. You're not going to have enough time to lock them. With the elections about, 15 months away?
Midterm is only, it's only like 6 weeks away.
But that's not the one where Biden's rerunning yet. This is
this is midterm. There's midterm and there's general.
The general election, yeah. So when that one comes back around, they already know once he announces, they can't do nothing. Any even criminal charges, he could post-state it, and you already know once you're a president, any charges you have, it freezes. Mm-hmm. So they could just hold it out until then. You put the attorney generals back in your favor, he's going to run shit back somewhere. They already know, do what you can now because you already know the power sits in your hands. And nothing you can do right now. You can't do anything because you can't expedite anything. He got the money to make everything postponed. And once he decides to run, you already know he don't
even have to run. Long as a Republican wins the office,
he's golden. Yeah.
They're gonna leave him alone.
So that's why they know. I was like, y'all Democrats are showing out, but when the power switches to the other hand, the thing is, Republicans they're not forgiving. They're not forgiving. Remember, they came after Jussie Smollett. Remember, Jussie Smollett lied and brought the shit on Trump, and they told the black lady to go after him heavy, and she gave Jussie Smollett a tap on the wrist. When they got in power, they locked their ass up and hemmed her up for everything they found, whatever. They went after her record and everything they found her because, Republicans aren't forgiving when it's time for them to give power. When they send you to do a task, you think you're going to do light work on your people and think you're going to keep that position. Nah, they'll ruin you. They get you up out of there. So this lady, this attorney general in New York right now, is like, she out here running, having a good old time. But, I was like, man, she better play. She making lots of enemies, though, as if the pendulum doesn't swing both ways. No one in politics is immune. You know what I'm saying? And I think especially when you're in Democrats, like, listen, man, some of these motherfuckers, these are the people that are very soft. When they have power, they're not gonna go hard for you. When the thing's on when the boot's on the other foot, Democrats gonna hang you out to dry. Though.
Exactly. They're gonna be like, I don't know. He was wilding.
He was wilding. I don't know what to say about that. You don't see Democrats coming to defend Gillum. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? They just let you fall on your axe, bro. They don't protect you like you see them protecting Trump. So all these people that is grandstanding, doing this, that, and the third, when the power switches to the other hand, Republicans gonna clean house. What else do we have? I guess pop culture, right?
Pop culture. Let's see.
What do I have? I had something in pop culture. The Tiffany Haddish thing.
All right, I guess we all knew it was a money grab. The 22. I guess she's 22 now. She was 14 when they did the video. With her and her little brother. I guess they came out and the judge. They say it got dismissed, but it was just settled out of court.
Yeah,
that's why it's dismissed, because you drop your claim, they're gonna have to dismiss it. And everybody's saying that charges are dropped, but it was never a criminal offense.
It was never charged. It was a lawsuit.
It was never a charge. It was a lawsuit. So all these medias keep saying.
I mean, it's been a money grab, because you see, it just says the mother of the siblings that was displayed in that sexual assault. She had attended Tiffany Haddish's birthday bash in 2020. You know what I'm saying? So this is long after the video had been seen.
Yeah,
listen,
people, they was in a tight spot. They was broke. They needed some bread.
We need the shakedown.
They figured, hey, look, we can try to pull some sympathy stuff on Tiffany Haddish, and she's gonna have to pay it because she don't want this shit to drag out. So that settlement came real quick. She paid it.
Yeah, these people got the quick $50,000, $100,000 shakedown. She claims Tiffany Haddish, if we seen her the other day, I seen her, she was walking to the airport. They're asking her some questions. She was saying how she lost all her gigs. You know, she ain't got no jobs right now, but she'll be all right. You know, it's just no bounce back. You know what I'm saying? Just temporary.
Just got to lay low.
Just got to lay low. You know what I'm saying?
No,
your boy.
No sex jokes for a minute.
Your boy made the block hot. Your boy Ariel Spears. But she'll be back out. What else do we have in pop culture? We got a couple in pop culture. Let me see. I see what Gray put on there. He said Dr. Umar clashed with Cynthia G and a trans dude. It didn't a clash with a trans dude. He was on
he was on what is called. It was something soul.
Yeah, some form. Fox Soul. And he's over here saying, "Thank you, my beautiful queen." He didn't know it was a trans. He didn't know the trans was a trans.
They were talking about black women and what black women do and stuff like that, and they decided to use a transgender person to come argue for black women. When bitch, you're not a black woman. You're a black dude. That's trans. Has trans. I don't even know if she had the whole surgery or what's not, but transgender shouldn't be arguing
for black women.
For black women, in my opinion, because you're not a black woman, you're not gonna know what it feels like to be a black woman, because you just decided after going through my life as a male, as a black male, now I'm a black woman. I feel all the struggles of black women. How does that that takes credit away from your whole fucking argument?
It's true.
And to have black women knowing that she's a transgender, that's the person you send?
It's, it's wild and it's a bait and switch. Umar's kind of mad he didn't know at the beginning. Maybe it's one of those things.
Because the argument is, listen, if I don't know that you're this and we come in an argument, I have a lot more to say that I could be like, you don't qualify to answer these for this question, blah, 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 this and that. So it is, they did that on purpose.
Yeah, I guess it's a gotcha moment, but he didn't treat her. He treated her like he treats women. Very respectful to that there. But at the end, he was like, what the fuck is this? How y'all going to tell me that I was speaking to trans? We're speaking on issues the men and women. Because I think Cynthia G had came out a week before saying how black men are the biggest perpetrators of white supremacy after white men or some shit like that. Mm-hmm. Some throwed shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know how this motherfucker is even qualified to speak on it. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. I mean, black men and black women are at the bottom of the totem pole. It's crazy to think that the person next to you, you're gonna say, is the biggest perpetrator of it, when he's the one that is the most, I'd say, killed by it, most harassed by it. You know what I'm saying? It's always kind of, I don't want to do a oppression Olympics who got it worse, black men or black women. But I do know the one that's considered the most dangerous, the most feared, and the most hunted is the black guy.
Yeah,
that's for sure. That's for sure. Now, the over-sexualized, the most disrespected, black woman. You know what I'm saying? It's a pendulum. It's the other way.
Black men are over-sexualized as well.
But not like women. You know, women could do nothing but just wear clothes, and just because she's curvy, you're like, oh, can you cover that up, or can you not come in? You know, black women, they come in here that shape. Some motherfuckers get uncomfortable. Some girls be so damn thick, you're like, God damn, the whole shit's uncomfortable. Yeah. Drake had that line, Drake, ass so fat, make the whole y'all can make everybody feel so uncomfortable. And just by saying that, you already pictured it. You've known it before. Lady ain't do nothing but just come in. She ain't do nothing. Her body just so voluptuous. Like, God damn, she just take away from everything.
It's making me uncomfortable.
Yeah, like, bitch, you making me. I'm trying to behave in this bitch. But so, everybody knows he's talking about just from that line. So they are over-sexualized. They are disrespected, this, that, and third. But I think black women also have a privilege. Everyone have a privilege. They have the privilege that they're allowed to rock. They're allowed to cook. They're allowed to become this so-called highest educated group. They're allowed to also be the one that gets protected and government protection. What was the, you know what I'm saying? I don't think they look at it like that.
No, of course not.
Though they didn't allow the black.
Listen, privilege, you never see privilege. People with privilege never see it.
Yeah.
It's like running with the wind against your back. You don't know that the wind against your back.
I think they think that.
You only feel wind when you're running towards it.
I think they feel that the patriarchy, because black men are still in the patriarchy, and the system is run by men, they think that black men benefit from the patriarchy more. That supersedes them. Maybe in the world that's right, but in America, because the patriarchy and they vilify them, and they already know who's the number one villain, it doesn't benefit us. It doesn't supersede being the black woman because they won't allow us to get money or get this out there. When we start doing things in droves, it's no different. Whenever whenever there's a sect or a certain type of demographic in America, even if it's white, when it's like a new church or anything, they start thinking, hey, let's go in the forest and start building a commune and start doing some weird shit. CIA is already drafting up files, sending people to infiltrate it, just in case they're thinking of they're anti-government. If they're not anti-government, they're going to let them rock. If they're black, whether they're not anti-government or not, there's a file being built on them. If they become if they become independent of the government, they're in there to fuck that shit up. Because we can't allow these niggas to get too successful, too big, too us name. They will come in there and deter it. They're not going out there assassinating women. They were constantly when they're coming after killing the men, they're killing everybody sometimes. Yeah, some women killed them when they send the vice in, but most of the time they were assassinating the men. Right, the male leaders. They keep killing the male leaders. They keep making they keep making sure that this demographic has no male structure in it. They allowed y'all women to get to the highest levels of echelons. They didn't do that for the guys. So I don't see it. You're saying it's one of those things that where are we bringing that? That's on Umar's thing, right? Yeah,
Umar,
Cynthia thing. So it's crazy to me that should even say that black men are the biggest perpetrators, because you also have like conservative black men that are like, hey man, I'm just about capitalism. This is the game we're in. We're just gonna play the game. But that doesn't mean that they're. I think some people conflate. I think because we're in America, we think capitalism is white supremacy. Some people can't tie it to. A lot of people think that if you're a revolutionary, like I said last week with the Jay-Z thing, they feel like if you're a revolutionary, you can't be a capitalist. If you're black and if you're getting money, even to capitalism, they feel like that's a form of white supremacy. As if automatically black folks are meant to be socialists and communists. Like no matter what, we're supposed to break a bread or whatever. Like, no, we got to make sure we get on.
Nah, nigga, I'm trying to live good.
Yeah, we got to make sure. It's kind of crazy, but it's one of those things. So I think, the conservatives, black folks are like, hey man, the system, it is what it is. There's no sense in complaining. Grab yourself by your bootstraps. We're going to do what we're going to do. Ain't no time to complain. They calling those part of the system, especially because black men aren't voting as much as they would back then. It's not like they're voting Republican. They're just not voting anymore. They're like, we gave up on the Democrats. But for you to say we're part of the system because they're like, why? The other side haven't delivered. Why the fuck would I keep voting for the same people every time? It'd be different if they stopped voting Democrats and all went Republican. Then you could blame them. But the fact that they're not coming out because your people are not reaching them, and the fact that the system's attacking and making sure that 1/3 of them can't even vote because they got criminal records, How can you blame them? It don't make any sense. When 1/3 of women are disqualified from voting before they turn 18, then they can talk. So it's kind of one of those things. It's kind of crazy, but they brought Umar on.
Even putting Umar in a conversation with Cynthia G is fucking wild, because Cynthia G is...
Who the fuck is Cynthia G to be bringing this shit? That's what I'm saying. That shit have blown my fucking mind.
A fucking lady that says the best way is to abort all black babies, male babies. And there's a
That's
trend,
what she said? She said that?
Yeah.
That shit is wild.
And there's a trend now on, I guess, like different social medias where a lot of these bitter black women are being like, the resolution is if we abort black male fetuses. Like,
it's one of the dumbest things ever. Anytime you try to, the species is too sexist. Anytime you try to negate one sex from another, you're fucking up the system. Exactly. You may think it's very short-sighted. Anytime you do a one-child policy like in China, you have some...
Right, you feel the repercussions.
You're going to feel the repercussions down the line, yeah. You have I seen one just recently when they're doing the write-offs. Just about every aspect of society, all its ills, from rapists to murderers to killers to all the deviant behaviors, all tend to come from single-parent households, all mainly raised by women.
Exactly.
You see? There's that fucking factor lets you know what happens each time there's only one parent. Every time you take away just one, it has a repercussion in society for the worst.
It's not one parent. It's one mother parent.
It is one mother, exactly. And it's one mother parent.
So only women raise terrorists.
Yeah, and killers. And sexual abusers. And that's what's happening. That's what they're not realizing. And they're like, oh, you can't blame them. I'm like, yeah, you can blame both. Sure, you can blame both, but ultimately it's one that's picking their partner, right? And maybe that one's becoming intimate. Maybe in her lifetime she's becoming great and doing good, but her kid isn't. That it's not passing on. She's not passing on success. She's not passing on generational wealth. She's not passing on generational greatness. It's becoming her single household that she raised. She might be doing great, but she's raising a killer and a this, that, and a third, a dysfunctional being. All her independence doesn't flourish onto the next generation. It stops with her. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of crazy. They're showing almost every aspect, all the negative tropes you can think of society, majority of the time come from single parent households that are raised by women.
Amen.
That's what's fucking crazy. I'm like, so how can y'all even think taking out the guy? I like, there's like, so many stuff that keep happening. Some people are saying it's simple. Like when you have gang member families, a lot of these guys come from no father's household. So some people are saying, well, it's because I was like, yeah, maybe you're saying the dads at home. So they need more male influence. So as you can see, taking them out is not the answer. You can't take them out the thing. You know what I'm saying? If you don't keep men, like you said in society, if you don't keep men busy and distracted or don't give them purpose, especially young men, you don't give them purpose, they could be very destructive. You don't give these motherfuckers a reason to live. They're not out here. Especially young kids. Young kids are all about instant gratification. You know what I'm saying? They can't wait. Oh, I want to see the results 20, 30 years from now. Shit ain't going good right now. I mean, I'm about to go out and make some shit happen.
Yeah, I'm about to create some chaos.
I'm about to get me a piece of this world. I'm not gonna sit back there and lay back. And there's not a system there to help out the young man. It ain't like there's you just be good and we'll pay for your housing. There's no Section 8 for men or protection there. The whole system is set up for where, hey, no problem, kick them out the house. Oh, you got a kid, no problem, we'll feed you. No problem, we'll pay for your school. No problem, we'll pay back. There's always there's whole nonprofits right now for single black women. There's always an assistance for that one side, while the other side is left neglected to wander for his own, and he's in the wild. He's living like that.
Listen, this whole gender war in the black community is, I don't think women don't realize that they're losing.
They're losing, but then for them to act like it's a fair war when they're at it, here's what happening is they're assisted by a government. Ain't no single person gonna be able to beat the fucking government. It's black women plus the government versus black guys. If it's even that, if it is a gender war, it's not like it's black men versus black women, because black men don't have the government on their side. That's the difference. You know what I'm saying?
It's not even like that. But if it was even that, it shouldn't even be a gender war. But some people are like, well, they just need to leave us alone. Like, there's no leaving y'all both. For y'all to coexist, for y'all to keep going on, y'all need each other. Black women give birth to black men and black women. There's no abort black. How would that work? Who are you having the babies with? Even if you have kids with a white guy, you're still having a black baby. That concept doesn't make no damn sense. You know what I'm saying? Even if she has a baby with a white guy, she could still give birth to a black baby. You know what I'm saying?
No, it's gonna be a black.
It's gonna be a black baby.
It's
dominant, exactly.
Baby.
So I mean, just making it woman's not gonna make a difference. It's wild. But that's what happened. It is one of those privileges that people don't look at. You know what I'm saying? Sure, there's still plenty of like I guess like you said, it's privilege. It's one of those things that people don't see. There's still plenty of male privilege there. But I was like, that's for granted. But I actually got from one. I just can't see it superseding one. At least not in America. You go to any other place, Africa, any place that we rule, sure. Now it's even. Then I'll give you right then and there. Then if African women want to complain about the power structure, black men having it other worse, you right. You got that right on. But in America, you can't. You can't
blame the.
You
black
can't blame the black. We ain't the
everything.
worst over here. Yeah, we ain't got the power over here. You can't blame that shit over here on this side. So, what else do we have? Pop culture.
Who made these pop culture topics? Was it you
Gray.
or Gray?
Gray. I didn't touch this.
Because
Gray.
Because the next one says black women lead the top demographic for eviction rate.
I did see that. Gray.
Yeah, Gray got to throw in his little women hate every now and then.
Yeah, Gray got to be at y'all
all the
women's
way
neck.
from where that nigga at?
Was he in Portland or is he
all the way in Portland? Gray throwing that.
Or is it Seattle? One of the two. Yeah.
Shout out that nigga Gray.
Gray on the West Coast, making sure y'all women feel every bit of the misogyny. Cross country misogyny.
Yeah, but I did see that that stat somewhere floating around that I guess after the pandemic, the eviction rate, black women is like leading that shit.
Yeah, eviction rate. What are you gonna do?
Can't pay the rent, you gotta go.
I mean, I seen Duval post one today. Duval had said how long it's gonna be. A lot of Duval's predictions come true. He said how long y'all. He like the rent is gonna be so high. A lot of these women that say they don't want to be booed up, they want to be outside. Trust me, they're gonna start wanting couples. And I just seen a video lady talking about. I'm at the point where I have no problem, having a roommate. We split it. We could do things together. I'm not sure if we have to be a couple. We don't want to call it that shit, but we could be friends with benefit because the rent's getting that high right now. It is becoming. This rent's gonna make people boot up again.
I saw something else from Duval this week. What was it? It was a good tweet he had. Where'd that shit go?
Which one?
It was some shit what that nigga said.
Was it about misogyny?
It was, I think,
or about polygamy. Polygamy coming and going. I know he's supposed that one time about who's gonna step into 2023. How we gonna step and going? Polygamy is about to be a new thing all over again. The standards is changing out here. What else do we have that I don't have dead air? So that was what is it? We had the yeah, I don't know as far as that what Gray put it as far as the evictions. I mean I can't say, maybe their names just might be on the lease. Who's to say what's the reason they're eviction? I didn't even know. Are evictions back open right now? Is these things open?
Yeah, the pandemic's over, nigga. Ain't no more.
So moratorium's lifted, kicking motherfuckers back out.
Yeah, ain't no more of that. You ain't gotta. You gotta stay here. They kicking niggas out.
Okay, what else do we have?
Pop culture.
Yep.
There was one more. What was the George Foreman's daughter commit suicide?
Yeah, I don't know nothing about that. I didn't even know it was Foreman's daughter. I mean, I didn't. That didn't make news.
Yeah, nobody,
Yeah,
your boy Greg going that.
yeah. That didn't make news, but you know that's I can believe that. You know, like I said, there's a lot of mental issues. A lot of these women are antidepressants as that's part of their single, and there was a lot of that's happening. So it's to be given, but you know, men still lead the case in suicides as it goes. So you know, people die every day. There's America. A lot of depression going on. What else
what else we have in pop culture is what's that? I guess that's sports, not pop culture. The Boston Celtic dude.
I guess you could go into that since we're not enough of sports. Nia Long's fiance, Boston Celtics head coach, Udoka. Is that his name? Udoka.
I don't know his name. I just know Boston.
Yeah, but he got suspended for like a year next season for having a relationship
with
one of the organization's female staff members. That you know he and of course it said it was they said it was consensual, but you know since he's in a supervisory position, you know there's no such thing as consensual.
Like who was complaining though?
I don't know if I don't think neither was complaining. I think, you know, it probably got out. You know, there's no, when you're a supervisor, you can't really give
get
consent.
Out.
Yeah, you can't give consent to an underling now, someone that works below you, because they could say that they were forced. You know, so these companies, especially in the Me Too era, you know what I'm saying? Which is crazy because a lot of people meet their spouses right at work.
At workplace, yeah.
But
this is a engaged guy, so you know it's just a little quick smash and
yeah, he actually he was engaged as well, so there's still that. But even if it wasn't that, that's not even the thing, you know, that he's having they hate old boy. So
and everyone's saying, "Oh, you're stupid for cheating on Nia Long." Like, who is Nia Long not to get cheated on?
Nia Long's a fine ass motherfucker though.
Yeah,
you know but
that has nothing to do with niggas fucking.
Yeah, that's what. Let this be a lesson to y'all. You know what I'm saying? Beyonce gets cheated on. Nia Long gets cheated on.
That's the number one example people say when they say,
"Yeah,
Beyonce got cheated
on."
Who the fuck you think you is?
Who you think you is? Niggas get cheated on. That's what happens. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it happens. There's no being. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't doing it because maybe I can't say he was in love with, you know, guys be opportunists out here. But he's definitely fucking up his bag because nothing worse than getting caught cheating than now you don't have a job for a year. Imagine her coming home every day from work being resentful.
I don't think it's a suspension without pay. It's just a suspension. He's just not going to be able to coach or do any team, but he's still going to get that money.
You think so? Yeah. They're gonna find some way to dock it somehow. I can't see them,
but he's not gonna. It's not like he's gonna be unemployed and not getting a check for the whole year.
How they justify it? How do I budget out a couple of $1 million a year to a guy that's done nothing but chilling at home?
Guaranteed money. Some people have guaranteed money. Man's getting a check, bro. He's just suspended. Just a slap on the wrist.
I can see if he don't fight it, we let this media shit go away. You can let you keep your money. That's then we'll let you stay at the organization. This shit got hot out here. You know what I'm saying? But it's kind of crazy to even get a year suspension for some shit like that. You know, we adults, you know, that's a lot of coddling going on. The only issue is now there's different people speculating who it is in the team. Some people, I forgot who they thought it was. The lady thought it was. She was fine as hell herself.
Yeah, but they said there was only one staffer that it could be because there was only one female staffer.
But they have other people. I guess I'm not gonna say. That's what I'm saying. That lady said they're saying they don't think it's her. It's crazy. You know, rumors are saying, and you have other people saying it's messed up. Like Taylor Rook saying, you know, there's different people in the organization. It's messed up. Y'all just out here throwing people's name in there when y'all don't know who it is, and other people that's not involved in it. It's super disgusting.
Well, that's what happens when you're not transparent with the community. With the public.
You gotta air out these hoes.
If you don't want somebody to be great,
yeah, be like, it's that hoe.
Yeah, that's
I got my shit off my merits. Don't let her come out here fucking up the name of all of us. Yeah, man. The rest of us ain't fucking. Ain't fucking the staff to come out. But
all right, here's a good question, right? If it was a homosexual relationship, you think he would have got suspended for a year in the climate we're in?
Oh, you mean if it was with a guy in the staff? Probably not. It's the Me Too era. It's the Me Too era that's getting him out of here. It's the ramifications of if the girl could say that it was sexual harassment. You know, anytime you.
But if it's a dude, he could say the same thing.
But it doesn't happen.
It's about power structure.
It doesn't happen. You know, it doesn't
So
happen.
if it's a guy, do you think the team would actually suspend him for a year, or would they be afraid to get backlash for being homophobic?
Well, okay, take the music industry, which we've been hearing for years, which I'm sure there's more of it. There's men are, and anytime there's men in power, there's men that abuse power. For the Me Too era that came out, we've seen women get exposed. But there's plenty of fucking gay men that are getting underlings to do all sorts of shit, getting other men, participants to do shit that didn't come out. These men just aren't coming out, and there's no outrage for it, and there's no men bold enough to say that they did it. But believe it's there. Maybe one day the reckoning will come, because we've heard in the music industry, Hollywood, plenty of motherfuckers make you do some strange shit if you really want to get on.
What's the B2K nigga?
Lil Fizz is the only one, and we laugh his ass up out of here.
Yeah, he came out and said, "Look,
he said that
butthole bleeding."
Yeah, he said the old niggas wasn't, and his other group members like, "Nah, that nigga lying. I don't know what he talking about. Maybe him." He's like, "Bruh, it happened to all those. Why you lying for it?" You know, they make him say, "We don't know what the fuck he talking about." He insists that the rest of the group don't know what the fuck he talking about. He don't want the tour and blew the bag. Like, look, I can't do this every night. These guys keep lying. It's hard for me not to believe him, because this nigga done fuck up some good money behind this shit. Mm. Like, he just will not tour with these niggas. He insists this shit happened. And I was like, this shit is crazy. And Omarion's still out here just kicking it, living his best life. You know, B2K keep going on.
He's living his best life. It's kind of sad.
He revamped his career without B2K. He had got on for a little bit, and he just did his thing. But nonetheless, whenever you see them do the whole, even when they just did the verses, the one member that claims on the show, he's not even in anymore. They just do shows without him. You know what I'm saying? The nigga that claimed he got his ass, they just kind of act like they kind of just...
wasn't he on the Drink Champs thing?
Was he on Drink Champs? Did he bring it up on Drink Champs? I don't think so.
I don't think they brought it up, but I think it was because B2K is 4 members, right?
Yeah.
And there was 3 people on the thing. So
he either just stopped talking about it, the Chris Stokes allegations, but either way, yeah. When it happens in the community, there's gay guys out here abusing their power. Kevin Spacey was doing it in Hollywood. He's like the only guy that they kind of went after, and he ended up just coming out saying, "Oh, I've lived all this us name. I've now changed myself to a gay man." He tried to out me to it that way. He ended up losing his show on Netflix and all that. Lost solid endorsement. Trying to come out as gay when they try to air him out, because niggas would just fall asleep on set or wake up and see Kevin Spacey blowing them and shit. It was a deviant, nah. It was a wild boy.
We probably shouldn't be laughing at sexual assault, bro.
It is sexual fucking assault. It's worse. I can't say it's worse. Let me not say it's worse when it happens to men. Let me stop that. It's heinous. It is heinous. Yeah, let me not say it's worse when it happens. A man feels double insulted because, like, bro, you done sized me like I'm a bitch here, bro. Because not only saying it's worse when a man feel like not only that you try, because you tried his manhood too. You're like, bro, how you gonna size me like that?
Bro, what is my cock doing in your mouth, bro? Oh shit, we is foul.
So yeah, Kevin Spacey. But trust me, there's more. Remember, your boy got hit. Your boy's the only male to be Me Too'd.
Terry Crews.
Yeah. So the nigga grabbed his boss
in front of his wife.
And didn't do anything. And he got a nice little settlement.
Shit is wild.
Yeah, so it happens in Hollywood.
Speaking of sexual assault, there's been another big one. I guess the Twitch house. Did you hear about that? Where I guess like one of the biggest Twitchers was like he fondled one of the other members that was living in the Twitch house and shit like that.
What happened? They kicked him out?
It happened like 2 years ago, and like the girl was trying to come out and say it, but like the people that was running like the Twitch universe or whatever,
they shut it down.
They kind of told her to play it cool and don't say nothing and stuff like that. But she ended up getting out, and they ended up having to kick him out the house. And I guess there's like a Twitch house where all these
all these stars live together. They have all sorts of shit. There's so much money over there. It's insane.
So yeah, I guess she fell asleep or passed out drunk, and he was like rubbing on her titty and shit.
Niggas are sickos,
you know these little weirdos that play video games.
Yeah, we expect these gamers. You put them some hot chicks around them. They don't know nothing about that. These niggas
deviant behavior.
There's one more in pop culture. You're Adam Levine of Maroon 5.
I kept seeing Adam Levine. I'm like, who the fuck is Adam Levine?
Yeah, Maroon 5. You know, big group back in the day. It's come out of nowhere. He's been a huge artist. His little side piece came out and claimed that, you know, they had an affair the whole time while he was pregnant with his girl or something like that. And not only that, not only did he have an affair, after they stopped talking after like a year or something, she came back. He was like, hey, anyways, I got a kid on the way. What would you think if I named the kid? He named the kid after the girl, the side piece, according to her. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, either way, shit, like, you know, this happened when I was like 19. I wasn't in the industry yet. And, you know, of course, you know, I do feel like I was kind of
coerced,
you know,
manipulated.
You know, these white women, man. That's the one thing I just cannot stand.
White women?
It's the ability to just take no fucking accountability. It's crazy to me. You're a grown woman. The guy who had a wife and kids.
You know he had a wife and
kids. For you to sit back and say you felt manipulated. How you felt fucking manipulated? He was a star. And you wanted to sleep with him. Why are you airing him out now? If you want to air him out now, just say you're doing it for that purpose. But don't try to say you felt manipulated. That's some bullshit.
Because you had to do some manipulation if you knew he was
married. You're doing your thing.
And you had to keep that shit a secret. And
she kept it a secret. And now that she's popping, she's now airing it out. This shit is crazy. I mean, to what benefit now for you to try to put both sides? She's like a model or some shit like that. The shit is. I hope this fucking ends her fucking career. But it's, you know, white women get 100 chances. It's crazy. It says like the Amber Heard shit. Like, y'all motherfuckers, the well of white women tears never dries though. You can always just cry and pretend to play a victim. That shit to me blows my fucking mind. I like how I was like, you try to air this guy out and try to make him look bad, and everybody like, hold on, bitch. You know he was married the whole time. They try to go out for him. And you know, Adam Levine got saved by your boy Boston Celtics because, you know, Adam Levine's story kind of popped on for a little bit, but that Boston Celtics story took off. If it wasn't for your boy Stephen A. Smith saying, hold on, we have other white guys and other people doing plenty of stuff too now. We don't need to be reporting on shit like this. I don't even know. Like, this is a private matter. As long as unless the Celtics fire this guy, we need to stop talking about this. I think the story of Boston by tomorrow, notice how you watch all the media platforms just stop covering it. Because, you know, as he's saying, there's other white folks, this same thing happened, unless you don't fucking start doing on some, oh, look at him type shit. Watch the media, ESPN, just not cover it. And they have the power to do that. The same way you can see that the media isn't going off for Brett Favre right now.
All right. It's only a selected few.
Only a very selected few, and it's still not as big as it. Brett Favre done stole $5 million from the poor people of Mississippi. You know what I'm saying?
Savage. Savage.
And then you can see
how you steal $5 million from the poor?
Listen, it's not his fault. He had a deal. He did with the governor. He's like, hey, we got this thing, got this bread from the people. We could give it to you for the stadium. You're like, hey, you sure? That's what made it worse is he had the email. If he didn't have the email, he'd be good. When he asked, hey, is this gonna come out? I don't know. That's why he's like, bitch, you knew it was wrong.
He knew he was wrong. Yeah, that's the bad part.
That's the bad part. You should have never texted. You should have, okay, straight. And I gotta get to know any better. But the fact that he got the text messages, hey, you sure this ain't gonna come out?
Yeah, that's where he fucked up at. When you're doing dirt, bro, you don't ask no questions.
You don't ask no fucking questions. That we at least play oblivious. But I didn't know, man. You know what I'm saying? My bad.
Where the money was coming from.
My bad, bro. I didn't ask. You know what I'm saying? At least you can play stupid. But the fact that like you asked, this is gonna come out. To his credit, though, it ain't like he took the $5 million for his pockets, right? He took it to build a stadium, right? Wasn't it like a volleyball stadium, some shit as alma mater, as college or something like that?
I have no idea what he took the money for.
Yeah, some shit. You know, he probably promised the school some money and he didn't want to pay for it out of his own pocket. So he ran a jug, you know what I'm saying? Made the other people pay for it.
Which happens every day.
Which happens every fucking day. That's all. We're only hearing about this because it's a slow news day. You know what I'm saying? What else do we have?
Are we bleeding into sports?
That was it. We didn't have much for sports. You had other things for sports?
No.
I had LeBron. What did I put? Labor. LeBron goes bald. I don't know if that is that.
That nigga been going bald. That nigga just.
But he bald it. He embraced it. So are we in a new era now? Are we ready for the new bald LeBron era?
Listen, it depends how the season play out. If Lakers make it 4 in the playoffs,
I mean the Celtics probably not gonna make it this year after this fuck up after just making it this go round.
Yeah, LeBron don't have nothing to worry about with the Celtics. It's 2 different coasts, but if LeBron make it 4 in the playoffs, they gonna credit to the baldness.
Baldness, LeBron coming out here bald. That's all we have in sports. I guess we can switch over to hip hop. It's a slow news week.
Yeah, all right. What we got in hip hop?
All right, hip hop first. I don't have it on here. Today, PNB Rock was laid to rest today or yesterday.
Really? That was fast.
Yeah,
when that shit happened last week.
Yeah, like a week. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they usually funerals maybe a week, 2 weeks out. Not that far. So they laid him to rest. Sad shit. I hear there's a lot of PNB members over there in LA moving around. I was like, I don't know if y'all boys want to go do that, but I don't know if they try.
Who they gonna slide on?
I don't know, because they said police are investigating to see if this is some old beef shit. They're not sure if this is just random.
Yeah, they're saying it's not random because the robbery took place and the wife had, or his girlfriend had on jewelry. They didn't rob her. They didn't do any of that. It was the person came in and went directly for him, and that was pretty much it. Like the wife had jewelry on her. Why didn't they take that if it was a robbery?
Nonetheless, PNB was tripping. Like I said, location-wise mattered. He shouldn't have been that location. Because they said there's plenty of other Roscoe's, but to be in that one deep in the hood is kind of wild. No security at all, shit like that. It's kind of wild. But nonetheless, so I guess, I don't know how they're going to do it. I don't know how they're going to slide. You go into a different city, you can do whatever you want, but how you going to get out of there in time and not be suspect, or you going to play it out right? Who knows how these guys play their murders? I hope as long as you do it smart enough. I guess you don't bring your cell phones with you, this, that, and the third, because when they ping your cell phone tower anywhere near there, you go into jail.
Yeah, ain't gonna be there's nothing to revenge.
It might be. You never know. Sometimes if it's a set type thing, you don't need the specific killer. You just go after that set. Let's say if it was this block or that street, you just go to that street and spray up that street, catch a couple bodies, dip out. You don't need the specific killer to pay for it. You just, like they call it get back. You got one of mine, I got 3 years, I'm out of there. And they're not gonna be rich enough to hop on a plane and go back to New Jersey. Go to Philly. You know what I'm saying? And get back. They just got to hold that L.
Yeah, niggas ain't doing nothing, bro.
It's wild. What do we have? Chicago's old block officially gets sold and is scheduled to be demolished, which we knew was going to happen. I'm a little Dirk and them was trying to say how they wanted to buy it and shit like that, but we already knew they wasn't going to sell it to no black niggas anyways.
Buy it for what? Like, if you...
Why
would I sell it to you?
Exactly.
You're not going to do nothing with it but leave it how it is, and the shit is already fucked up.
But if you're the seller, why would you care? But yeah, it's a city, right? Why would the city sell it to you?
Yeah,
This is a redevelopment right here. We trying to make this city. We trying to get this city.
We're gonna gentrify this shit.
Yeah, we about to gentrify.
You just gonna keep it in. Say you own it, and this is the toughest block, and all this bullshit. Ain't nobody selling that shit to you, my nigga.
Yeah, so
I bet you don't have the capital to do that anyway.
Yeah, even if he did, that's what people don't realize. In a perfect world, capitalism, it doesn't care. The money's green, it shreds, but we live in America. Not all money is good money, and you can have money, and some people won't sell some. There's some stuff that are just not, you don't have access to. You know what I'm saying? They're like, you know what I'm saying? If you ask somebody something and it has a price, how much does it cost? And they just tell you it's not for sale, just know that it's not for sale to you, my boy.
You're not on the buyer's list.
Yeah, you're not on the buyer's list. You can't just get his way. It's not for sale. So it's one of those things. So yeah. What else we have? Future sells his publishing for, I believe, $60 to $70 million. I believe it was like almost 700 tracks because he has so much albums. He sells his catalog.
That's it. That's all he got.
That's pretty good though. $70 million is good because he's still got plenty more albums he's gonna make. Academics is explaining. He's like, listen, man, you just get a fat check, you sell 50% or whatever it is you're publishing at that point. $70 million. Which isn't bad because, if they gave your boy 300 million, 400 million for all of they gave Irv Gotti 400 million for half of.
But I bet it wasn't as much music as Future's.
Maybe not as much, but it's way bigger hits. So you got to look at it on the scale of that. You know what I'm saying? He had a whole label versus one artist. So for 400 million, 70, it sounds about the same equivalent. So, and a lot of people are saying, why these artists are selling this stuff? Because the artist has been signing publishing deals. That's the thing they don't tell you. When they tell you when they tell you own your masters, the publishing's a different part of it. It's not part of your masters, but artists has been selling these things off and they'll get it. It's like an advancement. So if I have a hot song, right, the system is kind of force you to sell it. If I have a hot song and it goes platinum, this, that, and the third, I'm doing good, and I make $2-3 million. UMG, these publishing houses might come, hey man, let us buy your publishing for you. We'll give you a check for $15 million, $20 million, and we own your publishing for 10 years. And in meantime, we're gonna give you $15 million up front, and then in the meantime, you're gonna notice there's a reason why all the same songs are in the biggest movies, commercials, is that a third? Mm-hmm. Because without them, you don't sell it to them. They're not just gonna slip your shit in there. No. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So the system's kind of made a certain way. There's the people that make the movies, and they get their music from this house, and that house says, here's the people that we own the stuff you buy from. They're not going to say, hey, just go around to him. He don't got a deal. We're going to let's buy that album from directly. They're like, nah, we only do business. They already got a thing structured a certain way. There's a reason why the biggest songs, all these people, when you see them everywhere, they done got a massive publishing check. And they'll sell 5 years out, 10 years out, and they get it recouped back up. They'll renew it, whatever they want. You know what I'm saying? It's an advance. So they might sell it to you for $15 million. They make $30 million off of it. 10 years later, it reverts back to you. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things. So now they're doing big bulk out buyouts for, instead of waiting 20 years out worth of that way, you get your advance up front, half of it, and they're gonna make the difference back. Whatever they're doing, the biggest artists in the world they're selling from Justin Timberlake to Lil Wayne. I hear Kanye was already on one already. He's renewed a bunch of times already. But I think they said he's about to get ready to sell his whole catalog, which probably gonna be some crazy amount. You know what I'm saying?
It should be, but Kanye's gonna sell it, then complain.
Yeah, because
about I want it back. This bullshit.
He already complained because when they found out he had like a horrible deal with them before, because they gave them a fat check on his contract, and said he was allowed to retire. At no point could he announce any retirement. So for his lifetime, he has to be making music every year. Mm. So that's why he complained, and I don't know if he did some settlement to get out of it. But Kanye, man. Kanye's always going back and forth. But so Future's getting that bag. It's crazy, man. Some of these artists right now, it's a very lucrative time to be out there.
Hey, you might as well sell it if they still have to go through the publishing company to use your shit anyway.
Yeah, because they won't go to you directly. It would be perfect if you could. Then you keep everything.
Yeah, because they still got to clear it.
Yeah, they still have to go through the publisher. Because the thing is, if they was gonna go to, if all the movies are gonna go to you directly, hey, we want this in our movie, that'd be fine. But if the biggest songs are only in the radio, the way they get their money back isn't the radio. They get their money back by putting in commercials and everything else and ads. And you don't have the people in place to get those relationships. This company do. Cut the check, we'll give you half, and we're gonna put it in all these places, we're gonna make the money. You get the investment, and you get it that way. Pitbull's had huge publishing checks. Flo Rida, all the biggest artists you could think of, they have massive publishing deals. So that's how they become the biggest, because I don't know anyone that's able to do it without it. Usually a song takes off, it gets big, and the next thing that goes around is a publishing deal. I think if an artist refuses a publishing deal, a song will probably take off, have its maybe 4-week window, and then die out. I think you have to take that publishing deal if you want it. If you wonder why it keeps staying in circulation, there's a reason we still hear the Nelly Telfeather. Or Jay-Z still to this day. Jay-Z, the one with him, Frank Ocean, and Kanye. Those are always in different movies. There's some. You got to think how much Jay-Z tracks we always hear in all the damn time. They could publish it. You saying that already? Someone probably cut them a fat check and they need that return back. They're gonna say they're gonna put this shit in every movie from here to the next 10 years. You're gonna slip some Jay-Z track in there, but we gotta make that money back. Yeah, but there's no way. There's kind of no way around it if you want it to be that long and that get paid. What else do we have?
We have there was Tory Lanez versus August Alsina this week.
Yeah.
I guess August Alsina felt some type of way with Tory Lanez for talking on that whole Jada entanglement shit. And they finally crossed paths.
Yeah, Tory tried to dap him up and he didn't dab him. And I seen that video and he just kept it moving. I guess Tory went and confronted him later. And you hear the audio. You heard the audio?
Yeah, I think I heard some bullshit. It was just August Alsina. So why you talking on my business? Blah blah blah.
Yeah, he said, man, I can't stand when niggas don't keep the same energy. And Tory's like, what energy? He's like, man, why are you talking about business? And I
don't understand how niggas put shit out in the public and expect people that just because we're in the same industry, I'm not supposed to speak on it.
Yeah, so, Tory, being the little guy, took those words as fighting words and hit with the one-piece sucker punch, let the Willigan, as he should, because what is this bullshit? You coming on some 2-year-old shit that you went to the world, had an interview on. You are the biggest laughing stock out there. I speak on bars. I'm using relevant stuff. You know what I'm saying? It ain't that serious, bro. It's over with.
Yeah, it
ain't for us for deep beef. I hate when niggas ain't keeping the same energy. I didn't say nothing like I ain't fucking with you. I think his lyric was mess with me, grind on tell on you, some shit like what's the name? That's all it is, like a reference. Mm-hmm. Like Jada, come fuck with your boy, ain't gonna tell on you. So like one of those things. It was a slick line in a hip hop track. It wasn't that serious. Nothing for you to hold beef over.
Beef was held.
Yeah, beef was held, and you held it with the wrong person because Tory
punch was dealt.
Yeah, punches were dealt. Tory really liked that.
And this just comes bad out on Tory because Tory Wildin, he already got that shit pending against Megan Thee Stallion.
But Tory been whooping niggas' ass and running down on rappers for years. He's a little guy with a little man complex. I remember he ran down on what's his name, Travis Scott, and it was like they kind of separated it because for the longest people were saying he sounds like Travis Scott. He was like, how the fuck could I sound like a nigga that I write for? And like Travis either was like, yeah, he does kind of sound like that. Like, bro, I done wrote this song, whatever it was, whatever thing was type of thing. He was like, bro, you sizing it. So when he met him, like, bro, so what you trying to do? I mean, they had to kind of separate it because he was getting ready to run down on Travis. It was so crazy because he's so much smaller, and but. Some of these little niggas get hot quick, bro. Hey. You know what I'm saying?
Niggas been fighting their whole life.
Yeah, you gotta steal on these little niggas because they get offensive real quick. They have that Napoleon concept. They'll drill on you first. So as soon as they get spicy, you gotta just take their ass out.
Yeah, light their ass up. Slap that nigga a couple of times.
Yeah, that's what happened to Young Berg back in the days. He talked spicy to like Mano just hit his ass. Wow, that's what you gotta do because you never know these little niggas, dog. They talking spice next thing you know they choking you out. They doing some wild shit.
Little niggas is dangerous.
Little niggas be dangerous. You know what I'm saying?
Super predators.
Remember T.I. was going at it with Ludacris, and one time he met with Shaka Zulu, Ludacris' manager. They're doing some discussion on it. 1 minute they're talking, next minute T.I. choking out Shaka Zulu. You know what I'm saying? This is what happened. These short guys out here are dangerous, bro. You gotta whoop their ass expeditiously. When they step to you.
Don't give them little niggas sneaky.
Yeah, don't give them no chance. So yeah, August learned the hard way. Like, nigga, we all ain't talking out here, nigga. We whooping ass out here. It's crazy. But yeah, August is wild anyways.
What else we got in hip hop?
What else do we have?
Is Jeezy making a comeback?
And then he had a comeback. He had a verse on ESTG's album, and it's like old Jeezy. It's like a 1 minute verse, like a 32 bar. They both rap super long, but he talking that old trap shit, brought that old feeling back. It's like one of those verses that you got on I done seen it all type shit. Fire. Like, ooh.
I haven't heard it yet.
Yeah, old nigga said, ooh, we got the cooking man back in the kitchen on this shit. This shit sound fire. The album's already fire. ESTG dropped some fire ass album, but yeah, the fans were praising Jeezy for coming back. I heard the latest track he had with him and Don Cannon. And that sounded like some old school shit. That shit was dope. So it's good to see Jeezy, which was crazy because Jeezy, I swear Jeezy had claimed that he was retiring last album, but I guess that's one of the rap go-to moves, remember?
Yeah, when you drop a shitty album and it's not getting the reception you like, you just gotta tell people you quit.
No, they usually say it before it even drops. Remember in his last album, he said it was gonna be his last album. And he was going into like retirement because he was, he's heavy in real estate and all that now. So it's crazy. He got the I Ain't Gonna Hold You with him and DJ Drama. That song's fire right now. But it's crazy if you see Jeezy. If Jeezy could do another pass out here. Speaking of ESTG, your boy Designer out here did a video super mad because Designer, I guess he tried to get a verse for him and ESTG tried to charge him $75,000 and he was like, he's out here doing a whole rant online, nigga, you garbage, you hot, nigga, that nigga gonna try this game, you never as good as me, how you gonna try to charge a nigga $75,000, get the fuck out of here. I'm like, why are you mad at the price is the price?
Well, that nigga Future charged Megan how much?
Was it
like $250, bro?
Yeah, $250,000.
Bruh.
But he gave her like a 3-minute song. She's tripping. I was like, nigga, you done had 4 features on me. I'm gonna pay that $250 and I'm gonna use that one song and do 4 features. Yeah, because he did. That's the thing. That's what she said. The verse we heard of his, she said it was longer than that. He gave me like a 3-minute verse. Like, nigga, appreciate it. You already signed off on it. I'm doing part 1, part 2. You gonna be in my next 4 albums for $250. Meg, I don't know who's writing Meg's budget, but they out here cutting so much check for some bullshit for you to give me a verse and I done cut it down and think I'm not gonna get the rest out of it. Now I'm juicing the shit out of that, bro.
Yeah, $250 is a lot.
That $250 is a fucking lot.
That's crazy.
Usually, though, rappers don't charge rappers that much. Usually charge pop stars that much.
Well, rappers usually don't charge rappers they like. If they fuck with you,
yeah, they'll do a swap.
It's a swap.
But sometimes you got to charge. It's not always a swap because it doesn't make sense to swap because I'm only this hot for so long and I can only get these prices for so long. You don't want to waste your hotness on swapping.
The swap is supposed to be right then and there. I'm hot
maybe
right now. I'm going to swap. We're going to swap if you hot.
If you hot. That's what I'm saying. But if I'm not hot, I got to charge it because when else can I get this? Because you're going to shake down your budget. You're going to shake down your label. You're going to do whatever you can for this feature. And I can only charge you this much for this song. If I can only charge you $100,000 right now while I'm super hot, after this I decline. I got to charge some people with. I can't let everyone off a feature. I'll be how I'm ever going to touch the money. You know what I'm saying? Because this is once in a lifetime. So every now and then you got to bust a couple people's heads or get the or if they give it to you for a swap, they do other stuff. Okay, I get majority of publishing. I got to do some the shit got to work into my advantage because I am hot now, bro, and I got to eat off this. They say when Drake does it for you, you might not get charged, but he's keeping majority of the publishing, like 60, 70, 80%. And if not, it's coming out on him. And he either does the hook or comes on the first. It's easier. He comes on the first verse. Drake has a whole different demands. You ask Drake for a feature, he has the first verse and he's usually on the hook. And the publishing goes in his way. That's why Drake, every time when the radio plays, it's usually just Drake's verse and they pull out, even though it's your record. Mm-hmm. So he's always eating. His part's always getting more. You know what I'm saying? Shit, you know what I'm saying? He's always staying hot, shit like that. So if you want that feature, that Drake care package, it comes with it.
Who the fuck is, what is it?
ESCG?
Yeah.
Oh, you haven't heard of him. He's part of,
CMG?
CMG, yep. A fucking beast. This nigga's nice. So,
what happened to regular rap names, bro?
Well, they're plucking artists out of Detroit and out of Memphis right now. So it's dope that they're getting from new areas because they got some people sound dope, man. It's dope finding people from different parts of the world. There's black people from all over the world, but even that they are the whole different trap shit. And that's why I like these new niggas. They'll also let you know that that's how I know the media was lying about that fentanyl shit, because these new niggas talk about pushing that fent all the time. I like the media. The dope dealers wouldn't have said it unless it moves. If the dope dealers say, nigga, I'm moving that fent, that lets you know. That's what the dope dealers ain't spiking shit. The dope dealers let you know what they selling, right? I'm moving that white, I'm moving that work. All these new rappers say they moving that fit. That shit is what the streets is asking for. I like, yeah, the media's fucking lying. They actually, it's just because a lot of white folks are not dying, they want to act like, let's blame it. They want to make the drug dealer the boogeyman because the users are not dying. But the users been wanting what they've been using. It's just not a shit's more potent. You know what I'm saying?
I don't even know what fentanyl is, bro.
Fentanyl is a synthetic heroin, whatever it is. It's like super strong or 10x stronger than heroin. Whatever
so is it powder or is it liquid?
It comes in all forms. It comes in powder and liquid. It used to be a patch. What happened is originally fentanyl was a patch for people with cancer or bone cancer or some shit like that. You give it to them and it's super strong. It's like 100x stronger than the regular dosage of, what was the last shit we had in Florida? Had the highest shit we used to have. Not heroin. We had the pill.
Opioids?
Yeah, the opioid crisis that started here. So it was an offset of that. So whatever it is, but now fentanyl is just some, it's now super strong. It's everywhere. That shit's is running rampant. You know what I'm saying? That shit is crazy. And of course, like I said, now that white folks are dying right and left, the media had to rephrase it, make the dope dealer the boogeyman, make it seem like, oh, he's tricking people. They don't know. Like, these motherfuckers know. They knew what they're getting into. The shit just got a little too hot. And some people falling out from it. But it's just a new drug. What else do we have? Kanye parts ways with Adidas.
You definitely spelled Adidas wrong.
I think I took that off the damn thing.
But it's Adidas and Gap.
I think he parted ways with Adidas, right? I don't know if he parted ways with Gap. Did he part ways with Gap?
Yeah, nigga, Kanye never...
He's been beefing both, right? Yeah.
Kanye never stayed somewhere too long.
Yeah, he parted ways with Adidas and Gap, and to come to find out he got a slave deal. They got this motherfucker on a 360. He can't sell that shit without them. And
that's the same shit he had with Nike.
He thinks that he's just gonna leave because he brought his Yeezy brand and he's gonna sell it by himself. They're like, no. And then what's happening now apparently is Gap and Adidas are about to come together. I guess Adidas is gonna start selling shit inside Gap. So they're about to do the Yeezy deal without Yeezy. Because they own the rights to the thing. And I was like, bro, I don't know how you thought you was gonna. And he was like, well, we got some powerful managers. He's like, we got some powerful guys. They're about to learn there's a new boss in town. I was like, you about to blow every bit of that money you done got going against these motherfuckers when they got you in court. Because if you think you just gonna do whatever the fuck you want with two major fashion houses and two big corporations, so you talk about stocks and everything involved, and then you just gonna copyright and just keep selling shit without authorization.
I know he was pissed off with Adidas for selling products that look just like his brand.
Yeah,
because they definitely came out with some slides that look like Yeezy slides and some foam type runner shoes that look like Yeezy foam runners.
And I think he was mad at Gap for not having cheap enough clothes like that, or
I have no idea what the issue was.
Whatever the issue is, but they're gonna go without them, and they're like, yeah, we got the design, we own the rights to this, and some of these companies, it does suck that they, I guess he was like, how the hell I came out with this technology, whatever because the one thing about Kanye, he did for sure when he came out with that the shoes that look like socks, you know what I'm talking about? The whole Adidas lineup switched it out like that, real quick. And then every other shoe company now when you go, Nike got them, Reebok got them. Everyone has like a variation of that type of soft shoe now. That shit was back then. People were like, this shit's ugly. It did change the game when he came out with that.
I think that happens with all Kanye's designs, bro. It always changes the.
It does change the aesthetic. It does
whatever
change.
It is. If it's clothes, if it's shirts, if it's jeans.
I've never seen it happen like that with shoes though, because shoes are so big. Because they used to only be the ugly Yeezys, and now when you go to any foot store, especially go there, all them shits look like kind of like damn. Variant. All these shit look like a different Yeezy. That shit is crazy. That all of them would do that. It's kind of crazy, especially when especially with shoes. Shoes has got to be the most, I don't know if it's creative. I don't know what to call it. Nothing can drop like 15 pairs every week forever. That shit is crazy. 15 different designs every week. It's insane the push out that comes in with shoes, dog.
Yeah, but shoes is like essential. That's an essential thing that everyone has. Everyone has to have a pair of shoes.
That's true, but I'm talking about 15 times. It's between color waves and designs to crank out something every week for forever. It's not like we're stopping this week. If you got the Nike app, there's a drop every week. 4 new shoes, 5 new shoes every week. No weeks missed forever. That shit is
not just every week. It's like every other day.
That shit is a massive production, man. Like the creative team is in there is crazy. It's like whatever we make on, think of 10 different colors on that. Then now tweak it. Then think of 10 different colors. That shit is it's never ending. No other. I can't think of any other product that calls for that much push, that much changing, that much tweaking. You know, supply chain with food is just it's the same food all over again. What's it? But you talk about the shoes, even clothing don't have that much variations. With the Nike thing, it's incredible. So when you have a house like that come around and a guy like Kanye come around, it's kind of crazy that like that one guy could influence them to be like, hey, everyone line up, we're doing all this style now. And for all the houses to switch over and kind of switch to doing this shit.
That's why my dog be furious when motherfuckers just start taking his designs.
But you got to know what beast you're dealing with, because they take Jordan. They take anyone that's popular. Jordans are popular. There's plenty of Jordan knockoffs. And even within Nike, they do it. So I guess he was mad. It's kind of strange to see it. But there are Jordans. I mean, there's Jordans and there's Nikes that kind of look like Jordans within Nike. So I guess he was mad that there's Kanye's, and now within Adidas, there's Adidas that look like Kanye's. But that's what they do. They steal from even their own selves at different tiers. I don't know. It's they shit. That's what they
sign that shit over there. It's they shit.
I don't see why he didn't realize they do that within their own self. I guess they want to. In other fields, you'd call that what's that called?
Intellectual property, something bullshit like that.
Cannibalism, in a sense. When I used to work at Red Bull, they used to come out with like we're drink a couple Red Bulls here. Then they'll just drop another one and drop another. Like, bro, each time you drop another one, the shelf has less space. And you have to cut in a different color, They're like, yeah, it's fine. We know that. Or would there be some cannibalism? Maybe this color isn't selling as much as one. But we'd rather lose to ourselves than lose to the competitor, because they want to eat. They want to have the whole sector to be them. You know what I'm saying? They want the people come in there and just pick nothing but Red Bull as opposed to get another option, which is smart.
Sense.
It's smart. So, but it's crazy to be like, why wouldn't it just be Yeezy and then be a cheaper Yeezy? But they're like, nah, there'll be all Yeezys. That's what you own. But this other shit is our shit, and it's gonna look just like Yeezy.
And it's gonna cost less.
It's gonna cost less, which is fucking crazy. So I guess he didn't think that. Like, but that's how they play the game in the sneaker world. In that variation, it's crazy.
But there's never any satisfying Kanye pause.
No, there's not. Kanye's gonna be complaining, and he just came out and said he's gonna try to sell directly to the consumers. He's just trying to come out with like a $50 Yeezy or something like that, or $50 clothes. I'm not sure, but he's gonna sell directly. And they said, but isn't that what Sway told you 10 years ago? He's like, and he finally admitted, he was like, Sway did have the answer. Sway was right. And like, look at how the shit comes back around though. Now you want to sell direct to consumers. He could make a fucking killer if he goes there out though. Look at Fashion Nova, Dr. J's.
She has enough money to build the infrastructure. It's just, I guess, to get to where he's at now, he had to use their infrastructure.
Yeah, to use theirs, yeah. But if he's gonna do direct, he look at fashion. He could be a titan out here if he actually follows through with it. So, you know, this is the guy that can command the media anytime he wants. He's doing interviews right and left. I don't know, man. It's crazy to see how the Kanye story ends, because I don't know how. I don't know if I said it earlier. I don't know. Is there any? There's crazy people, but I don't know of any old crazy people. You know what I'm saying?
What do you mean?
Because usually people that are like have mental health, that are like crazy, that always worry about, they usually like they find a way to fuck their life up. Or maybe they kill themselves. Usually, God forbid, suicide, or they fuck their life up. They usually, the crazy people you see are homeless. They fuck up all their people. They find a way to self-destruct completely. You know what I'm saying? Bro, and if they're not self-destructive, they usually kill themselves because they can't stick with the ups and downs that they've been doing back and forth. Like, after a while they realize they're detriment to themselves. They can't live with themselves when they're not going through a spaz or going through a phase. You know what I'm saying? So,
did you know Screech died?
Yeah, a couple years ago.
About 10 years ago.
Yeah, it might have been. He was a horrible person before he died, though. That motherfucker, for that fame, that nigga turned into a beast in the end. He was doing all sorts of fuck shit, racist shit, wild shit. Now, that fame would bring the worst out of people. Yeah. So trying to stay out. Dustin Hoffman. Dustin something, I forgot his name.
Dustin something, I don't remember his last name.
So I want to see someone like Kanye. It's worse because he's like a billionaire. So unlike a regular crazy person that you can be like, hey, maybe you might be checked in, maybe you can sort out. Because he has so much people that relies on him, it's like a self-feeding machine. Like even when he needs correction, who's gonna correct him? He's making money, and his fans just gonna keep believing him in anyways. So even if he's fucking up another bag, he also will get another bag because he's very popular. People call him a genius, but even if it's his own detriment, even if he's shooting his own for the foot, the cycle's gonna keep going on. They're like, to what end?
Kanye's a Trump.
He's not a Trump because Trump ain't out here fucking his own shit up every time. Trump out here grasping for power, big power grabs. He ain't out here shooting himself in the foot every damn time. He might talk spicy, but he ain't out here. Kanye, everything he does, he goes back and shits on it, fucks it up. He's calling out people by their names. He's burning bridges every time he leaves town. Every door he walks out, he burns the bridge behind him.
Yeah, but there's always another bridge.
That's because he's winning. There's always going to be a bridge while you're winning. But that's what crazy people do. Usually they fuck all they shit up, and at the very end, they're at the bottom. And can they live with that? Can they go back to the bottom where they at? And even every time there's always no bridge, how much times can you do that up and down, that yo-yoing? Regular folks, after a while, maybe they get on their beds and like, yeah, I was wilding back then they calm down. But him, while he's winning and he's a billionaire, and there's industry, there's people that's living off him, how much yes men are around, how much people are allowing this. Even as, I don't know if you ever seen his Netflix documentary.
I think I did. Did I watch it?
Yeah, the Yeezy one or the Jesus, what was it? I forgot what it's called. Genius or something like that. By the end of the documentary, you're going to see this motherfucker is crazy, bro. The shit is crazy. By the end, I'm like, bro, y'all even the documentary guy was cutting off the film at certain parts. This guy was getting like this, going through manic episodes.
And did he produce the documentary?
No, his guy that used to record him all those years came back and he told him to record him in West Ham and then came out that way. And shit is crazy. I'm like, this is a real crazy person going through manic episodes and getting people, hey, you go do this and go do that. Hey, while I'm doing this, go ahead and run that campaign for me. Tell them I'm running for president here. And he got different people hiring, oh, yes, sir. That shit is wild, bro. You know what I'm saying? There's a difference between a guy that has an idea and got a well planned, like an Elon Musk who's an actual genius. Like I just seen a thing yesterday with Elon Musk when Jay Leno was interviewing him and he brought him over to SpaceX. And while he's doing the interview, you got people, hey, I need you to sign off on this, he signed on that. And he's over here explaining to Elon, he was like how he takes some ideas from SpaceX, like using a lighter, launching ships into to space. It requires lighter material. He'll use that for Tesla. And for Tesla, he'll like what he learns from mass production of cars. He cross-pollinates his businesses. It's like actual genius. It's not just random, just, hey, while I'm at it, let me run for this. Oh, go ahead and drop. It's not just streams of thought, just shooting shit out.
So you're saying Kanye's not a genius? Is that?
It's chaotic, and because he's got the money, he's just throwing it out, and the shit ain't thought out. Elon isn't just thinking it out.
There's a thin line between genius and crazy.
Yeah, but when you got the money, you have the money to just explore all your shit. There's a difference. When you're a genius, you're gonna be like, nah, that don't sound right. Let's drop a plan. Let's see if we can make it work. It's not just it. Let's say for Elon, when Elon bought Tesla from the last people, he could have just went and just did a car. He was like, yeah, plenty of people been thinking of doing the car, but there's not the infrastructure for it. So what we're gonna do first, we're gonna build the infrastructure for it. That's why Tesla has the biggest infrastructure. Even though there's been car companies around 20, 50, 100 years before him, they're now catching up to him because he built the structure first. That's genius. You know what I'm saying? When other people told me it couldn't be done, there's no finance there, he's like, listen, you just do it this way first, then we'll do it. You know what I'm saying? He thought of another. That's genius. He didn't say, just come up with this car, not come up with these other cars. Or why you got to, you got to imagine that Kanye would have had like 15 cars by now. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? While Tesla only got the 3 and then got us waiting on 2 other more and got us paying in advance for it. Genius. You know what I'm saying? He got us financing the front end before he even rolls it out. Kanye would have just been rocking these shits out whether they sell or not. It's crazy. It's a different way about it. Not to say he's not. He's unproven his genius before. His vision can be son, but there's got to be some. You know what I'm saying? There's got to be some
structure.
Yeah, there's got to be some structure there. And since he's so rich and so powerful, and so people just bend at his will, like, yeah, I got that. I'll do this for you. And you know what I'm saying? He's going to always have the connections. People want to be in his things, but I wonder to what means. And because when you meet him, you should already know when you meet him how it's going to end. He's your friend now, but this relationship ends one way when this nigga airing your ass out on Twitter. And that's how most of his relationships end. He's your friend today, but it's going to end with this nigga airing your messages out right on Twitter, blasting your shit. It's crowded, you know what I'm saying?
That's what happens when you deal with someone that's bipolar.
Yeah, but there's some people that don't want to be like that. There's some people that's mesmerized by like, yeah, I'd love to do business with him. I'll bring him in. But then you got to imagine how much doors he can't open because people are like, nah, man, I ain't fuck with that. Well, I'm going to do business with him, but he's going to have my shit right on blast.
Who's the other person like that? Joe?
Which one? Joe Biden? Joe Biden?
Joe Biden.
Yeah, same thing, yeah. It's the same thing. Think of all the times Kanye didn't air out Jay-Z. Jay-Z never replies publicly. Jay-Z just does his business, keep it moving low, like, yeah, that's Kanye. What are you going to do with Kanye? It's one of those things. But he doesn't, you know what I'm saying? He's like, I done text all of them. I'm richer than all y'all. But you could tell,
sometimes you got to humble niggas.
But even him, half the shit he be complaining about his artists, like Big Sean said, this guy still owes me $8 million. I just seen an interview with Saha the Prince the other day complaining, talking about the whole time, this guy got an EGOT, dog. He's been writing for Kanye for the longest. And he's like, man, I've been doing shit for him, not getting paid, or I shouldn't get paid because we're supposed to be doing swaps. I'll write a song for him, and return he's supposed to hop on my shit, this, that, and the third. This guy's not doing it, honoring his swaps. He's getting mad and canceling. They're like, damn. So even people that's it's supposed to be a 2-way streak, he's still not holding his end down.
Trump, nigga.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that
nigga's a Trump.
Well, only he wins, so that's
only
it.
He wins. He ain't gonna give you the opportunity to win.
Well, you gonna get back. You gonna do the favor of that shit it's wild, man.
All right, enough of Kanye. Anything else we got in hip hop?
I can't think of anything else. You got a. Let me see if we can look at anything.
Nah, I didn't see nothing popping off in hip hop this week other than Cool J telling academics he need to chill the fuck out about the pioneers of hip hop being, I guess the academics call them dusty because they're not rich and shit like that. It's like, y'all couldn't have created something if y'all, what's the name, if y'all dusty now. But
he didn't say y'all couldn't have created. He like, are y'all sure y'all created hip hop? Because y'all niggas is looking real dusty right now. But LL Cool J explained it. LL Cool J is right. LL Cool J like, just because you didn't get the money from this shit, that doesn't take away from my contributions, from the people's contributions for creating it. There was plenty of people there. You know, of course, he's not speaking about himself because LL Cool J
people that usually create something that's revolutionary.
They're not the benefactor.
They don't benefit from it.
Yep.
So, academic was off on that one.
Yeah. So it's crazy. So we'll see how that works out with but he was just saying, because he was saying how with hip hop, all these old niggas, because that stream comes from, he was speaking about Blueface, because Blueface look like he's going to do the reality TV. It's like, he don't understand why you over there trying to do reality TV when there's so much money in music right now. He was like, there's no money in that reality TV outside like DD Leaks and the Kardashians. Everyone else, you might be getting, you know, $2,500 an episode to be on Love and Hip Hop. Like, that shit ain't no real money. And he was like, in hip hop, there's just so much money in there right now. That's why you can get a guy like Method Man. He's like, actually, he see these niggas on planes and all. Like, where does all this money come from? Like, mind you, Method Man's been on movies. Method Man's paid through the movies and all the other shit he's doing. But he knows when he was coming, that wasn't the same type of money I was in hip hop now. The money I was in hip hop now is crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it don't make any sense to step away. Like, now these other old niggas, you know what I'm saying, these that came before that, they weren't getting no money like that. Like, some of these founders, these niggas looking dusty. You're like, don't come at me. That's what you're trying to say. And LL had to come and check it. Hold on, that don't mean that they found it. He's right, but two things can be true. some of them old niggas do look dusty than they have back in the days, but they were still. But he's also right. They're still playing that we're founders. A lot of people that came out early did got done dirty because they didn't have their business in effects. But even LL had to leave music for the bigger bag, which was acting. He had to go for the sure thing, get that NCSI money. You think Ice-T's best move he could have been was doing that one episode he was supposed to just be a walk-on on Law & Order, and he's been there for 20 years, get $1 million an episode.
A milli?
A milli.
Shit.
And he's not even the highest paid person. He was like the third or fourth highest paid person now. He might be like the second now that everyone else
have
left.
Like 22 episodes.
22 episodes a season. This motherfucker is getting big. Big. You know, back then he was like the fourth highest paid person because there's Stabler, the girl, the main girl right now. She's probably getting like $2 million an episode. So Ice-T's getting $1 million now an episode. He wasn't getting that at the beginning. You're talking about he had to build up to that, but you talking about 500,000 episode. So he had to keep renegotiating, but now he's been there for 20 years. It's a staple. And, you know what I'm saying? It's $1 million an episode, and that girl's the highest. I think she's like the highest paid person on NBC, NSBC, the female cop on that show.
Damn.
Yeah.
20 years, bro. We old as fuck, bro.
We old. I mean, Ice-T's old. Ice-T's like 70 years old, 60, 70 years old. He's well over 60.
Yeah, but nigga, we was around when that nigga just started. You talking about 20, bro. 20 is a long time, bro.
It is. Yeah. Because Ice-T was the first gangster rapper before NWA. So when he came out and then opened the door for them, and that's how long he's been into. You know, he ain't had to look back at hip hop ever since. Like, that's a when you go that TV route, that's a different type of that's that sure thing.
All right, what else we got?
I think that's it, bro. I don't know if I have anything else.
You got any recommendations for this week?
My recommendation, what am I watching recently? I'm watching House of Dragons on HBO. That's the Game of Thrones spinoff, prequel. Did you ever watch Game of Thrones?
Nah.
So you might as well watch House of Dragons and get on that. That one's only about 4 episodes in. It's nice.
Nah.
Oh, you tripping. You're talking about one of the best shows ever. Game of Thrones is easily on pace to be the best TV show ever before that last season. But House of Dragons, you don't have to watch Game of Thrones to understand House of Dragons. It's only about 4 episodes in. You can watch that. I'm watching that. And what else am I going to watch? Yeah, House of Dragons. I watched the She-Hulk on Disney Plus. It's pretty decent.
She-Hulk, isn't that on Hulu?
It's on Disney Plus.
Okay.
So that was pretty. It's one of the better Disney shows, one of the better Marvel shows that got a budget. You know what I'm saying? I skipped the Hawkeye one. I skipped the Moon Knight. There's a couple of them that I was like, I'm not even gonna waste my time. But the She-Hulk is nice.
Did you ever go watch Woman King?
I haven't yet. I think I got tickets for Monday.
Oh, okay.
You watch it?
Nah.
You're not gonna catch it?
Nah.
I thought you guys were big saying y'all gonna watch Woman King. What happened to the flip? Y'all not buying that? Because I'm seeing two aspects of the media. A lot of people say we're about to support this, and then I'm seeing other aspects of black men like, nah, this is just Hollywood trying to make women demasculate the.
That's me.
That's you.
That's me.
I see that aspect because I think Dr. Boyce Watkins saying, "What happened to all the guys and the women?" He just decided not to go to. They decided to just stay home and watch everything. What's going on here? Because it's based off a true story.
That's what they say, but
or some variation of that.
I've never heard this story.
But you know, there's all sorts of shit. To the victors goes like you say. There's all sorts of stuff we don't know about history, but I mean, it should be good. We'll see how that works out. So, what's your recommendation?
Let me see. This past week, what I've been watching a lot of is a show on Vice, the Dark Side of Comedy.
Oh, okay.
That's pretty good.
It's a live. It's a documentary.
It's documentary style, and they just follow different different comedies that just shit went left. From Richard Pryor, Roseanne, Screech.
Oh, that's how you find out Screech died.
Yeah, that's how I found out he died. What's the name? There's a bunch of comedians that died, and I'm like, I didn't know these niggas died.
Well, a lot of comedians suffer from depression. You know that's what comedy is. You know, finding out the positive shit and finding out the you know what I'm saying? Finding out the laughs and the dark humor and shit like that. But yeah,
and
so a lot of them.
The first nigga to ever be canceled.
Who was that?
Was a comedian. What's that nigga name? That nigga's Dan something.
Dan Cook.
Is this Cook?
Was he the one that his brother stole his money and shit?
I don't know.
Because he's supposed to be making a comeback now.
He's still at least he's still alive. All the other motherfuckers died, other than Roseanne and shit like that. But yeah, he was the first dude to get canceled because he was big on the. I guess he was like the first to be like rebelling against the sand niggas.
Oh yeah, what happened?
Nigga got canceled, bro,
for saying sand niggas and shit.
He had a whole bunch of homophobic jokes and shit. Like I didn't even know it was that big of a deal back in the early '90s and stuff like that because that's when he was popping.
I'm thinking as a Dan Cook. Dan Cook was huge. This motherfucker was huge, and after a while, that's the thing with comedy. You can get too big, and then these people just stop fucking with you. Like they're like, I hadn't seen enough, pull the plug. There was a lot of comedians that was there at some point. Sometime happened with actors. Brandon Fraser, remember that guy from The Mummy?
No.
There was The Mummy 1, 2, and 3, the white guy, fat dude. He was the lead guy from you watched the movie The Mummy back in the days?
I'm pretty sure I did.
Yeah, that dude just went years out. He just now got an award after coming back out. Like he was super popular, and after a while, there's some shit with Hollywood, dog. Once you burnt out, they just can't cast you. Each time they want to put you in a movie, these writers they're like, no, we can't cast them. Or when they put you in a movie, that shit just does not sell. Once you had 2 or 3 bombs, they get no work for you. You might as well go get a job.
And another thing with acting is like if you play a role too good,
you stuck.
You're typecast.
Yeah, you're typecast.
Career.
That's what I'm saying. So, and
that's what happened to Screech.
Exactly.
That nigga plays a nerd too well. And
he couldn't play
anything else.
So he decided to rebel against that though, and to not be Screech. That motherfucker became a horrible human being. I'm telling you, I remember him on live TV.
Last thing I remember him was when he challenged the fitness guy to physical combat.
I remember
that shit was hilarious, bro.
I remember when Danny Bonaducci tossed his ass over his shoulder. Screech was just doing some horrible shit on live TV. I remember the brat was going off of him. He was just fuck. And I know he wasn't that bad for real. He just was overdoing it to break that character.
Yeah.
But it was just
he could never shake it, bro.
It's the same way like Bob Saget from Family House.
Is he alive?
He died like last year right here in Orlando. He died of the Ritz.
Oh yeah.
But if you bet any time outside of Bob, he was cursing because he had to break that from being a good old dad for the longest. You know what I'm saying? But I guess that was always the real him versus the very nice one saying. But Screech was a different level of just being a jerk. He didn't mind being racist. He was doing blackface. This motherfucker was different. I like, bro, what is going on here? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he had to try to shake that character, bro. That nigga couldn't get no work other than
he did a sex tape. The nigga was just
a variant of Screech. So
you gotta just make it work. What's the name can't shake his character, and it worked out for him. Carlton. He could never play a serious black guy, a hood black guy. He always has to play the proper black guy, which is who he is in real life too. But he says that he's like typecast. But fuck it, what bread does he get? If you ever go to any hotel, you're either gonna see 2 people on your screen. It's Slater from Saved by the Bell, or you're gonna see Alfonso. What's his name? Your boy Carlton. White folks, black folks fuck with them. They're trustworthy. They'll be right there on the Marriott TV screen telling you about your listing.
They're a good minority.
They're a good minority. Motherfuckers cut them a check. They get good paid. They get Hollywood shows. They do hosting gigs. You wouldn't think they'd still be around. I would have thought Zach from Saved by the Bell would have been the bigger star. Because he was a star.
He was.
But who's still around all these years in Hollywood Unlocked? It's Slater. Sometimes you play your fucking, you can't play one role. You do what you can do. What you got. Nick Cannon should have never fucking. Nick Cannon was always the goofball made fun of, but he made it work. You can't go against it. Nick Cannon tried his best to try to be a more serious hip hop dude. This, that, and third. We ain't accepting it, bro. We just not believing you. And he just made Wildin' Out, made fun of himself, and leaned into it.
Well, that nigga made. Isn't he Gigolo?
Which one?
Was that?
That was the Cannon jiggle. He did plenty of tribe rap shit. Shit was all whack. We didn't expect no rap from the Cannon. We're like, bro, you're going to have to hang this shit up. And after a while, he did this Wild Line show, and all people make fun of him how he can't rap or how he's Mariah Carey's husband, but he just got his business right. He's still getting paid. He has no problem making fun of himself. And I got all these other gigs. That's what you got to just lean into it if they don't want to let it shake. But this whole fighting it so long, going against people, re-imaging, making yourself a horrible person. If you could come out the other end, I guess it could work. But if you fall short, dog, you gonna look fucked up. You went from a screech to a horrible person. That's your career.
It's dead, bro.
That nigga died of cancer too, though.
I know.
Horrible shit. It's all like you're being horrible, Gus. I got something for that. he was near the end. Screech was a wild boy, dog. Shit was sad.
They didn't catch that shit to like terminal.
Stage 4. Mm-hmm. I think he probably had like pancreatic or some shit. One of them shits when they catch late. You know what I'm saying? That shit was sad. He had released he did everything to try to get popular. Some sex tapes. Like I said, that fame something though. Tila Tequila, same thing happened with her. She had joined like the alt-right and those super Trump heavy. You know what I'm saying? When people try to stay on they try to do it all though. Sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you don't get a chance to bring it back though. We didn't see Cat Williams went through it.
He shook back at least.
He shook back. Yeah. Sometimes you gotta sometimes you get a chance to shake back, you get to leave and come back, but when they try to tear you down and sometimes you just gotta work your way through.
And that shit ain't built for everybody.
No, it is not.
All right, folks. You already know what to do. Hit us up on That's Absurd Pod on Instagram, That's Absurd Pod on Twitter, That's Absurd Podcast on Facebook, and you can always drop an email at That's Absurd Podcast at gmail.com. And you know the voice lines stay open, 407-900-6076. That number is 407-900-6076. And we'll catch you guys next week.